Good afternoon, good evening, everyone, wherever you're at in the world. Welcome to Last Rouse Baseball's live commentary of the Nippon Professional Baseball League. Tonight, we are going to be bringing you a Pacific League matchup between the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles and the Orix Buffaloes from the Kyocera Dome in Osaka. These two clubs are clashing as the Buffaloes are in the playoff mix. The Golden Eagles are holding down fifth place in the Pacific, but have played some better baseball as of late. All of the teams in the Pacific League played north of 500 ball. In the interleague play, it was the Right Tonic as they were playing the Central League teams. And it is going to be a ball game tonight that's going to be in front of a fairly decent crowd in Osaka. Buffalo's not necessarily known for their best crowds, but this one here is a pretty solid Saturday night crowd, as the upper deck is got quite a few people at this time of the year in the stands for them tonight. We're going to give you the starting lineups. First of all, for the visitors from Tohoku, leading off and playing third base tonight is number 6, Itsuki Muribayashi. Hitting second at second base is number 0, Hiroto Kobakata. Batting third at first base is number 3, Hideto Asamura. And the cleanup spot in left field is number 12, Oscar Gonzalez. Batting in the fifth spot and doing the designated hitting is number 39, Yukiya Ito. Hitting sixth in right field is number 32, Daisuke Nakajima. Hitting seventh in center field is number 8, Ryusuke Tatsumi. Batting eighth at shortstop is number 1, the rookie Arui Muniyama. And batting ninth and doing the catching, it's Hikaru Oda. And they're going to be facing Daiki Tajima, who takes to the hill with a 4-3 record. He has worked 52 innings this year, allowed 44 hits, 17 runs, all of which have been earned. He's walked 9 and struck out 37, pitching to an ERA of 2.94. Well, that's your starting lineup for the visitors from Tohoku. Now your starting lineup for the Orix Buffaloes. Leading off and playing in left field is number 7, Ryoma Nishikawa. Batting second and playing third base is number 6, Yuma Mune. Batting third in center field is number 67, Kai Nakagawa. And the cleanup spot in right field is number 99, Yataro Sugimoto. Batting in the fifth spot and playing first base is number 44, Yuma Tongu. Hitting sixth and doing the designated hitting is number 4, Tomoya Mori. Batting seventh at shortstop is number 24, Kotaro Kobayashi. Hitting eighth and doing the catching is number 2, Kenya Wakatsuki. And batting last at second base is number 5, Masahiro Nishino. And they're going to be facing Miguel Yajuri, who's in his first year with the Eagles. He is come over from the Tokyo's Yakult Swallows. The one-time Yankee and Pirate has an 0-2 record, but that has not been reflective of the way that he's pitched. He's pitched 32 in the third innings, allowing 32 hits, 13 runs, 9 of which have been earned. He's walked 9 and struck out 14, and he has a 2.51 ERA. Our friend Luke, Manny, Mike, and Joe Mansman in the house tonight. Welcome, everybody here. He says, who would you put your money on? Just your opinion tonight. I have to tell you, it's a pretty strong lineup here for the Buffaloes tonight, and I would probably be leaning in that direction, although the pitching needle points, in my opinion, at least in the early going here, toward the Eagles. So I'll still stay with the Buffaloes on their home soil, or at least on their home turf for this one here tonight. We're right back in just a few, everybody. Appreciate you for jumping in with us on the Last Rouse Baseball YouTube channel. It is Eagles and Buffaloes when we come back in just a few. First pitch is just around the corner. Literally the ceremonial first pitch has just been completed. Daiki Tajima just about to take to the hill. And we'll get this one going in just a couple of moments. It is Buffaloes and Eagles when we return.
Hello, this is Eric Fox, formerly of the Oakland A's and Texas Rangers baseball teams. If you want to learn about Japanese baseball, see Coach Fred of Last Raps Baseball. If you want baseball instruction, see Coach Fred. If you want to learn about golf, do not go to Coach Fred. Fred, what kind of club is this?
At Last Raps Baseball, we know baseball. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the left-hander Daiki Tajima who is just completing his tune-up tosses, and we're about ready to get this one underway. Coming to bat for the Golden Eagles in the top of the first inning will be Muribayashi, Kobakata, and Asamura, the 1-2-3 hitters in the batting order. Both of these ball clubs here, as they're facing off against one another, have the playoff dreams, as we had mentioned earlier. Right now, currently, the Buffaloes are nestled in a playoff spot as they are seated second in the Pacific League, 2.5 games behind the Fighters. The Eagles are 8.5 back of the Fighters, and they are currently 5.5 games behind the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks for the final playoff spot, as they're going to have to pick up the pace. Pitching has not been a problem for either of these two teams, as Daiki Tajima, ready to get this one underway, kicks and delivers a first pitch fastball that swung on and lifted foul into the seats over on the first base side of home plate. And we are underway at 2 minutes past 2 p.m. or 14:02 local time in Japan. For Muribayashi, he's batting .318 on the season, 3 homers and 27 runs driven in, as Tajima slowly works into the windup and delivers a fastball that bounces up to the plate, and the count runs even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. We were away for a little bit. All Rails is in the house. How you doing? Andy Mike as well. Appreciate you guys for jumping in with us here tonight. The 1-1 pitch on the way is a fastball swung on and missed, and the count goes to 1-2. We'll be back on the airwaves again tomorrow. Pacific League action again tomorrow night. It'll be the Fighters and the Lions. Hopefully you guys can tune in for that one, as the 1-2 pitch is ready to go. As he kicks and fires a fastball swung on. This is lined down the right field line. It gets over the netting and into the seats. And the count remains at 1-2 to Muribayashi. Defensively tonight for the Buffaloes from left to right field, it is Nishikawa in left, Nakagawa in center, and the right fielder is Sugimoto. As Tajima kicks and delivers, there's a slow breaking ball swung on. It's rolled over to third. Mune fields it on the run. He side slings it to first. That's going to retire Muribayashi on a ground out 5-3 for the first out of the inning. So 1 up and 1 away. It'll bring up Hiroto Kobakata. Just finishing the defensive alignment for the Buffaloes tonight from first to third. Tongu is at first. It is Nishino at second, Kobayashi at short, and Mune tonight at third, with the battery of Tajima and Wakatsuki. So Kobakata steps to the plate. He's hitting .228 on the year, no homers and 8 RBIs, batting from the left side here against the left-handed throwing Tajima, who rocks and delivers. It is a slow breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. My friend Joe asked the question. He says, who do you think is the better Japanese player, Otani or Ichiro or Sadaharu O? There's a fastball that catches the inside corner, and the count goes even to Kobakata. I have to say, probably for the complete player, the needle pushes to Otani for sure. They're each in their own right different players, with O known for his power as a breaking ball misses down and the count goes to 2-1. Ichiro, arguably the best contact hitter in the game, maybe since Pete Rose, if you consider Pete Rose the all-time hit king. Fastball swung on, grounded over to second. Nishino fields it in shallow right field. He does a 360, throws to first, And Tongu able to pick it out of the dirt, makes the play. It's going to go as a ground out 4-3. So 2 in the books here quickly for the Golden Eagles. It's going to leave it all up to the first baseman, Hideto Asamura. And our fellows that are in the house tonight that are listening, that are in early on, both Manny Mike and our friend Tim, who is all Rails Productions. Everything that, as far as I'm concerned, or at least what I think about when we're calling these games here, is obviously Trevor Bauer is going tonight against the Giants, as there's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1 to Asamura. I do believe it's the Giants who they're playing. I know some folks like to pop in and pop out, because these may not be their two teams. There's a fastball swung on. It's lifted foul down the right field line, and the count goes to 0-2 on Asamura. But the Pacific League dominance was on display in the interleague play this year. They absolutely dominated the Central League. It wasn't even close. Slow breaking ball misses outside, and the count is 1-2. And we cited in one of our podcasts, we said that I think the reason for it is because of the designated hitter. The Eagle or the Pacific League has the extra player as the DH. The 1-2 is on the way. It's a fastball that misses upstairs. Count goes to 2-2. And because they have that paid hitter in the lineup, when you are taking a hitter out of the lineup or adding a player to the lineup in the Central League, it's not as good. There's a fastball that misses inside. According to the home plate umpire, it runs the count to 3-2 on Asamura. So at least that's my 2 cents of why I think that the Pacific League has that edge. There's a slow breaking ball swung on, grounded softly to short. Kirby fields it. He has to hurry. He fires to first, and Asamura is going to be gone on a ground out 6-3 for the third out of the inning. And that is going to do it here in inning number 1. The Golden Eagles go in order. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're through a half inning. It is the Eagles nothing, the Buffaloes coming to bat. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the bottom of the first inning in just a couple of moments, right after this. Our friend Steve Rodmacher is around and about. I don't know if he's lurking with us tonight, but be sure to check out his channel. This is all about Steve.
This is Steve Rodmacher, and I'd like to introduce you to my channel if you haven't seen it before. These are all the things I enjoy: sports, autographs, relics, non-sports Hall of Famers, pseudo-sports, Star Wars. That's my channel name and my name. And I would really appreciate it if you would come check me out and maybe even subscribe if you like it. Thank you for that for now, and back to your ball game.
Appreciate you there, Steve, and our friend Titus in the house as well. Welcome to the channel. It is going to be the Buffaloes coming to bat here in their half of the first inning. Nishikawa, Mune, and Nakagawa to face Miguel Yajiri here this evening. Buffaloes, or our friend Manny Mike asked us at the beginning of the night who we thought would win the game, and I do think the stronger lineup is with the Buffaloes here. And if they get Tajima pitching, even if he's just average tonight, I do think the Buffaloes have the edge in this one. Well, Nishikawa stands in, batting from the left side. He takes a first pitch fastball down low, and the count is 1-0. Nishikawa hitting .308 on the year with 3 homers and 30 RBIs. In his second season since joining the Buffaloes as a domestic free agent, takes a fastball upstairs, and the count goes to 2-0. God is great, says both teams meh. Well, the Buffaloes currently sitting nestled in second place, 2.5 games behind the Fighters, as the pitch is a fastball that catches the inside corner for a called strike, and the count goes to 2-1 on Nishikawa. Buffaloes went to 3 straight Japan series, and we're able to pick off one of them in that run. There's a fastball swung on his line the other way. It's going to get down, and it's going to possibly get by the left fielder Gonzalez. It does. It goes all the way to the wall. Rounding first and heading to second is Nishikawa, and he's going to cruise in there with a stand-up double. Looked like a bit of a Z route from the left fielder Oscar Gonzalez, as he didn't have the greatest of jumps, and then he ended up having to make the hard right turn to have to chase it down. And that is going to be a double here to get things going for the Buffaloes in the bottom half of the first. And that'll bring up the third baseman in Yuma Mune. Well, for Mune, he's hitting .239 on the season with a homer and 8 runs driven in. We haven't seen a lot of Buffalo games this year, but his absence has been more notable than anything else. The health of the player has been in question, certainly the last couple of seasons. The 29-year-old batting from the left side. He's not a big fella, as the first pitch is a fastball that catches the inside corner for a called strike. The count is 0-1, so no balls and 1 strike. Mune has had some good moments for the Buffaloes. He's a very strong defensive player. He's appeared in a couple of all-star games for the Buffs. Batting from the left side here against the right-handed throwing Yajuri. Waggling the bat. As the right-hander delivers, there's a fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats down the left field line, and the count goes to 0-2. Our friend All Rail says his favorite player is Yuma Tongu. He's pretty good. I remember seeing these two teams play, I think it was last year, when they were playing in Tohoku, and Tongu got drilled in the head by one of the Eagles pitchers. Ended up knocking him out, putting him out of action for a couple of weeks. Wasn't on purpose by any stretch. Pitch got away. It was a rainy night in Tohoku, shockingly enough. 0-2 pitch on the way. Fastball swung on, lined into center field. It's going to get down for a base hit. Over to pick it up is Tatsumi. The throw comes in, and stopping at third is Nishikawa, and the Buffaloes have something brewing here in the bottom half of the first inning, as they got runners on the corners and nobody out. That's going to bring up the center fielder in Kai Nakagawa. I'll come back and tell you a little bit more about the Tongu story when he comes to bat, as he does follow Sugimoto here in this one. Defensively tonight for the Golden Eagles, from left to right field, Oscar Gonzalez is in left, Tatsumi in center. The right fielder tonight is Nakajima. Around the horn from first to third, Asamura is at first, Kobakata at second. The shortstop is Muniyama, at third is Muribayashi, with the battery of Yajuri and Oda. So Nakagawa stepping in here, getting the nod in center field tonight. He's hitting .255 on the season, 5 homers and 31 runs driven in. And in some ways, I want to say the Buffaloes will go as Nakagawa will go. As the pitch is on the way, it's a fastball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. Aurel said, how long ago did that happen? It was last season in the early going. And you got to remember when Tongu, a couple of years ago, when they lost Masataka Yoshida, Tongu's production basically replaced Yoshida's 2 seasons ago in the 2023 campaign. It was a real shot. The Army played really well. As the pitch on the way is a breaking ball that misses down and away. The count goes to 2-0. And big things were expected of him in the 2024 season. And then he got drilled in the head. It was in April or early May. And he was never really the same player last year for most of the season. Didn't give the production, so one would hope that he has sort of settled back down and got his game going again. They need him for some offensive punch. Here comes the 2-0 pitch, as the right-hander again holds to the set and delivers. There's a fastball that misses down and away. They peel over to the first base umpire, but they say Nakagawa didn't go, and that runs the count to 3-0. So 3 balls and no strikes to Nakagawa. Yajuri struggling early here in the first. Runners on the corners, nobody out. And the big fella Yataro Sugimoto waiting his turn on deck. The batting order that the Buffaloes can roll out, it's almost like a murderer's row, with Sugimoto, Tongu, and Mori to come. It doesn't get any easier. There's a breaking ball that misses inside. It's going to be ball 4. And Nakagawa is going to get a walk. That's going to load the bases. Now you've got Yataro Sugimoto striding to the plate. having a pretty solid season for the big guy. Batting .303 on the year with 7 homers and 27 RBIs. He's got an opportunity here to punch a couple of runs across here for the Orix Buffaloes. So Ujiri trying to wiggle himself out of a first inning jam. As Sugimoto steps in, he digs himself in. The 34-year-old really has played his best baseball for the Buffaloes after the age of 30. Up to the age of 30, he was more of a marginal kind of part-time player, but his best years have come in the last few seasons. He's trimmed down. It's a slimmer version of Sugimoto this year. Fastball swung on, ripped past the third baseman into left field. That's going to get 1 run in and possibly more, as coming around third and scoring is Yuma Mune with the second run of the inning. It's going to put runners aboard here, 2 runners aboard, as both Nishikawa and Mune have cashed in. That ball got right by Murray Biashi. I'm not going to wait and see how they're going to score that, if they're going to rule it a single or if they're going to rule it an error. My guess is the home crowd or the home score is going to be a base hit and a couple RBIs for Sugimoto. But that ball just gobbled the third baseman right up. He hit that ball absolutely hard. And the third baseman, maybe a little bit harsh on my end. It looked like it may have hit the dirt and took a strange hop, or at least the lip of the dirt cutout. But they're going to go, it'll be a single and a couple RBIs here for Sugimoto. That'll bring up the aforementioned Yumatongu. And it will be a double for Sugimoto, so it's runners at second and third and still nobody out. And the first pitch to Tongu is a breaking ball swung on it, is popped up just slightly behind second base. Camping out underneath it is Kobakade. He's there to make the catch, and an unproductive at bat for Tongu, as he will be gone for the first out of the inning. 1 away here. It'll bring up the DH in Tomoya Mori. Real says he's heading to Japan in September. Really looking forward to it. It's a nice time of the year to go, depending on when in September you're going. I've been there in late August, early September. I like the heat. A lot of people don't like the heat. If you like the Midwest heat in July and August, you would love Japan. But a lot of people don't really appreciate that kind of weather, the heat and the humidity. Nice sea breeze from time to time. So the right-hander Ujiri kicks and delivers. The first pitch to Mori is a split-finger pitch, swung on and missed. Count is quickly 0-1. Mori hitting .260 on the year, no homers and 9 RBIs. Missed some action in the early going, fighting some injuries. Mori was a one-time Pacific League MVP when he was with the Saitama Cebu Lions. They have moved him really out of the catcher's role. There's a fastball that's down. A good stop there by the catcher Hikaru Oda. Count runs even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. It is Buffaloes and the Eagles in Pacific League action tonight on the channel. Tomorrow night, we're going to stay in the Pacific League, but we are going to be doing the game between the Fighters and the Lions, as there's a breaking ball that's taken for a called strike, and the count now goes to 1-2 on Mori. It's the only game that has scoring in it thus far. All the other games that are going on are in the Central League. The other 2 Pacific League games are later starts. At the Bellino Dome, it's the Fighters and the Lions. At the Zozo Marine Stadium, it is the Hawks that are playing away to the Marines, as the 1-2 pitch is set to come here as the right-hander kicks and fires. There's a fastball swung on and missed, and that is going to retire Mori on strikes. He's gone for the second out of the inning. It's going to leave it all up to the shortstop and Kotaro Kobayashi. I think if you ask the Buffaloes if they'd be happy to get 2 runs on the board in the first inning, I think probably before the inning started, they'd say absolutely. But I think they'll be a little disappointed if they can't come away with more here, with runners at second and third and nobody out, but able to push another run across the board. So this brings Kirby Ashe to the plate. He's hitting .261 on the year with 4 homers and 24 RBIs. Very upright stance, and the pitch is on the way, and it is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Our friend Trevor's in the house tonight. We welcome you, Trevor. He says, let's go Buffaloes. Hope you're doing well, Trev. All Rail says he remembers Adam Jones with the Buffaloes. Yeah, in some ways, the first year was productive, but the second year, he was a shell of his former self. Breaking ball swung on, lifted into deep right center field. This ball is going to have the room for the right fielder, Nakajima. He's going to haul it in, and that is going to do it. Kirby Ashe sent that one a long way. That was the swing you needed from Yuma Tongu, but that is going to do it. He's going to be gone for the 3rd out of the inning, and that will do it for the Buffaloes here in this one. 2 runs in the inning on the benefit of 3 hits. There was no errors and 2 runners left aboard. We are now through 1 complete. It is the Orix Buffaloes 2 and the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles no score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments and chat with our chat as we normally do late night on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. You are listening to live NPB commentary with Last Raps Baseball. Be sure to check out our podcast, The Japan Baseball Report, either on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to join our Facebook group as well. It is NPB Japan Baseball Report. Stay up to date with all the other followers who are a fan of the Japanese game. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the heart of the batting order to come to bat for the Golden Eagles. That means Oscar Gonzalez, Yukiya Ito, and Daisuke Nakajima to face the left-hander Daiki Tajima here in inning number 2. The Buffaloes jumping out to an early 2-0 lead as they will send to bat the left fielder Gonzalez. Haven't seen Gonzalez in a Tohoku uniform yet. He is off to a decent start, .275 batting average with a couple of homers and 8 RBIs as the first pitch breaking ball is taken for a called strike. The former Cleveland Guardian and San Diego Padre skipped across the pond here as he is getting a chance to build a career, I would say, more than anything else. As the 0-1 on the way, it's a breaking ball swung on. It's grounded softly down the third base line. Mune's going to let it roll, and he's going to pick it up in fair territory. And Gonzalez is going to get himself an infield single. I don't know if they're going to maybe want to take a look at that or not. I don't think so. I think that was the right call by the third base umpire. That ball there, Mune was wanting to see if it's going to spin foul. And it didn't. It was over top of the bag. And so an infield single here for Oscar Gonzalez, and that'll bring up the designated hitter in Yukiya Ito. Well, for Ito, batting .225 on the year, homer and 7 RBIs. Batting from the right side here against the left-handed throwing Tajima. As the lefty working from the stretch for the first time tonight. Kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that misses up, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Buffaloes jumped out to a 2-0 lead in the bottom of the first as the first 4 hitters in the order all reached base. It was the Taro Sugimoto 2-run double that brought home the first 2 runs of the ball game. Our friend Gracie Lynn's in the house tonight. How you doing, Gracie Lynn? Fastball misses inside, and the count goes to 2-0. We were going to do the Lions and the Fighters tonight, but then I realized that that was a later start. We will be on for those ones tomorrow. Gracie Lynn says, thanks for giving you the heads up about the stream. Yeah. Thanks for popping in. It's great to have you as always. We kept the chair warm for you on the side. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count goes to 3-0 on Ito. Our friend Gracie Lynn was pretty jacked up about the College World Series when she was in here the last couple of times and following that immensely. A little bit of a whimper the way that the final went down, the way that certainly the officials handled it. There's a fastball that misses up and away. That's going to be ball 4, and Ito's going to get himself a walk. And Daiki Tajima, after a very easy 1-2-3 inning, has got himself in a little bit of trouble here as Gonzalez is now the runner at second. Ito is at first, and it's going to bring the right fielder Daisuke Nakajima to the plate. Well, for Nakajima, he's hitting .271 on the year. He's got a couple homers and 11 RBIs. It's his second season in a Tohoku uniform. I have to tell you, I haven't seen a whole lot of him, but I do like the way that he moves, the way that he looks. He's 24 years old. I like to see a little bit more juice in the stick, maybe, from a right fielder. With only those 2 homers and 150 plus at bats, there's a first pitch fastball that misses outside. Count as 1-0 to Nakajima. Gracie Lynn said she was watching Aussie rules football and lost track of time. When I first moved to the West Coast, we used to get the NRL from New Zealand Rugby League, and we used to get the Aussie rules football late night live on pretty much regular television. And unfortunately, over the last few years, a lot of the regular TV has been watered down, the things that we would watch. There's a fastball swung on it, is grounded up the middle, off the glove of the pitcher, right to the second baseman, Nishino. He steps on the bag for one, he throws to first, and they're not able to retire Nakajima as the throw was a little bit offline. Nice play there. It was deflected off the glove of the pitcher, and it went right to the second baseman. So Tajima actually hit it, and the ball popped up into the air. Great reaction by the second baseman to field it and try to throw it to first. But that's going to erase Ito on a fielder's choice. It's going to go 1-4 in the books. He's out for the first out. Gonzalez stops at third. Nakajima, the runner, over at first. It's going to bring Ryosuke Tatsumi to the plate. Gracie Lynn said that the umpires were soft and didn't handle it appropriately. Yeah, certainly in the first inning. I didn't see the game. I just saw the reports, and I saw some of the highlights, or maybe lowlights, as the first pitch coming here from the lefty Tajima. And there's a fastball that's taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Tatsumi hitting .244 on the year with a couple of homers and 10 RBIs. That's a problem when you have a situation where you have umpires. They got to understand the context and the meaning of the games. It's the national championship. You're going to have to swallow some more nonsense from the coaches, or at least some more verbal from them, because you have to understand the magnitude of the event. There's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count goes to 1-1. If you're playing St. Cecilia's Sisters of the Blind in a preseason or a non-conference game, then who cares early in the year? But that was one of the biggest stages. And it just shows you how the officials butchered a game that still ended up being a pretty good game, but not with the manager and the assistant, or I guess co-manager, as I think they called them. So 1-1 strike to Tatsumi. Gracie Lynn says in the U.S., Fox Sports has both the NRL and AFL. Yeah, I used to get that regular here late night, and it was a lot of fun to watch. And Gracie Lynn also makes the point, it doesn't affect the hitters putting the ball in play or the pitchers throwing strikes. Yeah, they have to do their job, without a doubt. Here comes the 1-1 pitch as the lefty holds set. Now he kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball waved at and missed, and the count now goes to 1-2 on Tatsumi. Golden Eagles threatening here in the top of the second inning. They've got Gonzalez at third. Nakajima is the runner at first. I wouldn't be surprised here if they maybe put Nakajima in motion to try to stay out of the double play. It's 1-2 here to Tatsumi. Keep our eyes peeled for that as the lefty Tajima holds set. Here comes the pitch. He kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball down, and the count now goes to 2-2. It's very true. You talk about, especially to young players who are learning the sport, just the nuances, about ignoring the umpires, not worrying about what they call, especially until you get to 2 strikes. Get the 2 strikes, all bets are off. Now you got to make sure you're trying to put the ball in play or protecting or whatever you have to do, but it's in your court until that happens. There's a fastball swung on. It's grounded to short. Kirbiashi fields it. He goes to second for 1. They're not going to be able to turn the double play. He had to move to his right. He lost his footing. He slipped. He was still able to get the fielder's choice to retire Nakajima 6-4, but it is going to be an RBI for Tatsumi. As in to score is Gonzalez, the Eagles' first run of the game, and that is going to cut the lead to 2-1. So 2 gone here in the inning with Tatsumi now the runner at first, and it's going to bring Rui Muniyama to the plate. I think in this situation with Tatsumi at first, I think I'd be putting the track shoes on him and getting him off to the races. Tatsumi establishing his lead over at first base. He does have 12 stolen bases on the year, and the Eagles do like to run. As the pitch from Tajima is a fastball, it's taken for a called strike. The count's 0-1. We talk about feel for the game and the umpires. The umpire behind home plate tonight, Wakatsuki, had set up outside, and the first pitch was a bad miss by Tajima. As he had to come way across his body, the umpire called it a strike. It just makes the umpire look bad. It probably did cross the plate. Fastball swung on, grounded to short. Fielded by Kirbiashi. I don't know why he didn't take the play at second. Instead, he fires to first, and Muniyama is going to be retired on a ground out 6-3 to end the inning. And that will do it here for the Golden Eagles in their half of inning number 2. Well, they get a run back. There was 1 run in the inning on the benefit of 1 hit. There was no errors, and there was a runner left aboard. We're now moving to the bottom of the second inning. It's the Buffaloes 2, the Eagles 1. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a few with all the action on the Last Rouse Baseball YouTube channel. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters to come to bat for the Buffaloes in inning number 2. That means Kenya Wakatsuki, Masahiro Nishino, and the top of the order in Ryoma Nishikawa as they will begin inning number 2 here against Miguel Yajuri. They did score 2 in the top of the first as the first 4 batters all reached base for the Buffaloes. The 2-run double off the bat of Yataro Sugimoto has given them the early lead. Wakatsuki batting from the right side as he waits on the first pitch from Yajuri, and he takes a fastball for a called strike. Counts 0-1. Wakatsuki hitting .244, 3 homers and 14 runs batted in as the right-hander ready to go back to work. Getting his sign from his catcher, Oda, as he kicks and fires. There's a breaking ball that misses upstairs. The count goes even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. As we mentioned, we will be back on the airwaves again tomorrow night. It'll be same time, same channel, but 2 different teams, as there is a fastball that Wakatsuki tried to bunt, and he ends up taking that for a called strike. The count is 1-2. It looked like he wanted to try to push it down the first base line. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to the catcher of the Buffaloes. Jury getting his sign, rocking slowly into the windup. He kicks and delivers a breaking ball that misses in the left-handed batter's box. The count runs even to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. We'll keep an eye on that game between the Giants and the Bay Stars. That is at the Tokyo Dome. As we mentioned, it is Bauer going tonight for the Bay Stars. As that ball swung on, popped up just behind home plate. Underneath it is Oda. He's going to retire his opposite number on a pop-up for the first out of the inning. So the catcher retires the catcher of the Buffaloes for out number 1, and that'll bring up the second baseman in Masahiro Nishino. Well, in 2024, Nishino was drinking from the fountain of youth. He had an outstanding season, hitting north of 300. This year here, the second baseman for the Buffaloes has petered off a little bit. He's batting 196, homer and 4 RBIs, getting the start tonight as the first pitch breaking ball misses down and in, and the count is 1-0 to Nishino. Nishino hitting from the left side here against the right-handed throwing Yajuri. As Yajuri rocks into the windup and delivers. There's a fastball swung on it. His line down the right field line. That's going to get into the corner. Nishino rounding first. It takes a funny hop off the wall. The throw comes in, and he's going to get himself a double here. It looked like he was almost going to throw on the brakes, and then the ball took a funny ricochet. So he's got himself a double, and that is going to bring up the top of the order in Ryoma Nishikawa. Our friend Joe says the San Francisco Giants played in Hapabon in Japan. I'm not sure about that. Gracie Lynn said, did you see the Rays-Oriole game? It was 30 runs were scored. Orioles won 22-8. Finally, something about the Orioles season to get excited about. It's been a dismal year over there in Baltimore. It's got to be the most disappointing team in all of baseball. I was talking to one of the fellas I used to coach with a few years ago. We're talking about the Orioles today, probably the largest disappointment in all of baseball. There's a first pitch fastball taken for a called strike. I don't know what's going to go on. You hate to see it tonight. The home plate umpire tonight is all over the map with his balls and strikes. This game here could be, hopefully it's not decided by anything crazy here. I did see over the last few days there have been some bench clearing incidents. It was the Cardinals and I believe the Cubs yesterday. Wilson Contreras was hit 3 times in the game. Fastball misses up and in, and the count goes even to 1-1 on Nishikawa. We had a post-game bench clearing discussion. Our friend Joe says, asking if the San Francisco Giants played in Japan. No, Yomiuri Giants. As the right-hander Yajiri delivers, it's a breaking ball missing down. It goes to 2-1 on Nishikawa. Gracie Lynn said the Cardinals starter threw a 1-hit shutout on 89 pitches. That was Sonny Gray. Sonny Gray's been pretty good this year again for the Cardinals. Former Vanderbilt pitcher. Seemingly finding a home again and pitching very well in St. Louis. He never found a home in New York with the Yankees. Yankee fans did not like Sonny Gray. There's a fastball that swung through and missed, and the count goes to 2-2 on Nishikawa. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Yumamune is awaiting his turn on deck as the Buffalo faithful are cheering their fans on. Pretty good crowd, as we said tonight earlier in Osaka. Buffaloes are what is considered to be the least supported team in the NPB. but they are out in force today. And they've got a pretty good team in Osaka, or at least the Buffaloes are a pretty good team. You'd think that they would come out a little bit more frequently. There's a fly ball lifted into left field. Gonzalez camps out underneath it, there to make the catch, and retreating back to second base will be Nishino. So Nishikawa gone for the second out of the inning. That's going to leave it all up to the third baseman in Yuma Mune. Well, for Mune, he's 1 for 1 tonight. He singled and scored a run his first time up. As he comes to bat here with 2 gone and a runner at second in inning number 2. Mune had a tough play there at third base, having to make that decision whether he was going to field the ball or not. He didn't have a chance to get Oscar Gonzalez to lead off that last half inning. As it turned out, it ended up being a run there as well. There's a fastball swung on and missed. And the count is quickly 0-1 to Mune. So no balls and 1 strike. Mune batting from the left side here against the right-handed throwing Ujiri. As Ujiri checks his signs from his catcher, Oda. 2-1 Buffaloes have the lead here in the bottom half of inning number 2. As the right-hander checks the runner Nishino at second. Checks him again. And now he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on. It is lifted into left center field. Camping out underneath it is Tatsumi. He's there to make the catch. And that is going to do it here for the Buffaloes in their half of inning number 2. They had no runs in the inning. There was a hit. There was no errors. And there was 1 runner stranded aboard. Now through 2 complete, it is the Orix Buffaloes 2, the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles 1. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a few. We appreciate you guys for hanging in here with us late night on the Last Rouse Baseball YouTube channel. We'll take this little time out, give you our friend Steve Rodmacher to keep you entertained. We'll be right back in just a little bit.
Hello, guys. Thank you for joining Freddie here on his baseball game. And I'm Steve Rodmacher, and my channel is really all about everybody, including all my international friends. We have such stuff as non-sport packs from Canada, the OP cheese. We have the Greek Freak. We have money from around the world. We have lira. We have yen. We have francs. We have pounds. We have Deutschmarks. We have all kinds of cool stuff like that. We even have some cooler things like Japanese women wrestlers and OPC baseball cards where I cannot read the back. We even have unopened material like the royal family, I know it's backwards, from London, England. Thank you for watching. Back to Freddie.
Welcome back, everybody. We are moving ourselves to the top of the 3rd inning, as it is going to be coming to bat for the Eagles, or the Golden Eagles. It'll be Oda, Murray Biashi, and Kobakata to face the lefty Tajima. Our friend Gracie Lynn said there was something in the ball tonight. The Nationals and the Angels put up 24 runs as well. Marlins beat the D-backs 9-8. Crazy day. What didn't happen in Detroit? I think it was only a 4-1 game. I kind of listened in a little bit, half listened in. Came in, took a pregame nap before this one. Wanted to stay up a little bit late. Be a long day tomorrow as the first pitch from Tajima is on the way. It is a fastball that misses outside for ball 1. Oda hitting 153. No homers and 6 RBIs. Oda waggling the bat here. Waiting on the offering from Tajima, who delivers a breaking ball. It's taken for a called strike, and the count goes to 1-1. Tajima only 30 pitches through the first 2 innings, fairly economical, the lefty. When I think of the lefties, I think of Tajima. I know Tajima can run it up pretty good at times. That last pitch there was at 88 miles an hour. But I think of Major League Baseball. Who are the soft-tossing lefties that would still be in the game today? Who's your Jamie Moyer or your Kenny Rogers? As the 2-1 is on the way, it's a fastball swung on, lifted into straightaway center field, racing back on the warning track, and this one's going to go off the wall, and it's going to be poorly played by the center fielder Nakajima, as the right fielder had to come all the way over to get it, and sliding into third with a triple is going to be Oda. Oh, they made a meal of it in center field. The center fielder, Nakagawa, was going back on the ball, and then he ended up getting to the point where the ball hit the wall, and he overran it. He wasn't able to play it off the wall, and it was the right fielder, to his credit, Sugimoto, who had to come all the way over from right field to have to get it as it got away from the center fielder, and he lost his balance as he was running almost into the wall. And the catcher probably have to go back and look at the stats of Oda, but I probably as surprised as anybody that he's got himself a triple. So Oda is at third with a leadoff triple that brings the third baseman Itsuki Maribayashi to the plate, who's 0 for 1 tonight, as the lefty Tajima not getting much defense here in the early going. There's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep right field. That'll be deep enough to get the run in. Sugimoto makes the catch. Tagging at third and heading home is Oda. The throw comes in, but it's not going to be in time. And that is going to even the score. A sacrifice fly to 9. RBI for Maribayashi is the first out of the inning. And Oda cashes in to even the score. We're back to where we started, all square. The score line of 2-2. And that is going to bring Hirota Kobakata to the plate. And for Kobakata, 0 for 1 tonight, grounded out to second, his first trip to the dish. Kobakata takes a first pitch, fastball for a called strike. The count is 0-1. No balls and 1 strike. He's kind of having a chuckle. I posted up a short of a swing of Ryusi Sato. We were talking about it earlier on before the stream, as there's a fastball that just misses outside. Count goes even to 1-1. Sato got traded about 10 days ago from the Saitama Cebu Lions to the Chinichi Dragons, and his video absolutely went crazy. People, for whatever reason, have been popping in and taking a look, as there's a breaking ball missing down. It's now 2-1. And another thing that's going to take place, we kind of alluded to it on one of our podcasts, is the Japanese League. They have a meeting in July. It has to do with the social media and use of it. There's a ground ball swung on it. It's tap foul over on the first base side. When you think of Major League Baseball has allowed creators to edit and to create and to put things up onto their channels. And they were able to do some of that stuff. And it has promoted the sport for sure, as there's a breaking ball waved out and missed. And that is going to retire Kobakata. He's going to be gone. So that is going to be retired for the second out of the inning. It'll bring up the first baseman in Hideto Asamura. But just thinking about how Major League Baseball uses the creators, they have their creators, they allow people to do it, use their stuff and post it on social media. But the NPB has basically, if you look at their website, they've really restricted things. And there's been an outcry from the Players Association, fastball misses outside, about how they want to brand their game and promote their game. My friend Gracie Lynn says their social media is terrible. Terrible might be a conservative or a kind way to describe it, as there's a breaking ball that catches the outside corner and the count goes to 1-1. Asamura batting here with 2 gone and a run already on the board for the Golden Eagles. They've locked it up at 2s. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball misses down. It goes to 2-1 on Asamura. Yeah, even the main pages, whether you look at Yahoo or Sports Navi, or at least on the English side of things, it's very difficult in terms of their way they present their stats, how they use it. Even, one thing when I think of the Japanese is that breaking ball misses down. I think of their technology just in general, about, when you think of years ago, photos and film and all the rest, and their technology, their web. Then you look at the NPB and you think that they're way back in 1998. As there's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away, and that's going to run the count to 3-2 on Asamura. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to the first baseman of the Golden Eagles. Tajima rocking again back into the windup. He kicks and fires. There's a breaking ball swung on. It is popped into the air into right field. Camping out underneath it, Sugimoto. He's there to make the catch, and that is going to do it as Asamura is going to be gone for the third out of the inning. That is going to do it here for Tohoku in their half of the third. They got 1 run in the inning on the benefit of 1 hit. No errors, and there was nobody left aboard. We are now through 2.5 innings. It is the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles 2 and the Orix Buffaloes 2. We'll come back and chat with the chat right after this.
Shall we begin? Let's begin now. Let's begin now.
Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the bottom of the third inning, locked at 2s. Coming to bat is Nakagawa, Sugimoto, and Tongu. Usually defensively reliable Nakagawa made a meal of that last play that eventually led to the second run of the game by the Golden Eagles. Takes a first pitch breaking ball up for ball 1. Nakagawa yet to see a strike from Yajuri. He saw 4 straight balls in his first at bat, as there is a fastball that misses outside, and he's got 2 more here, so 6 in a row. Wonder what his swing looks like. So here is the right-hander going to the rosin bag. 2 balls and no strikes. 33 pitches for Yajuri through the first 2 innings. As there is a fastball that misses up. It's now 3-0. This goes back to I'm not sure what the home plate umpire is calling. That pitch looked pretty good, but not in the eyes of the one wearing the powder blue jersey behind everybody else. So 3-0 as Yajuri rocks and delivers. There's a fastball that misses outside. It's going to be ball 4, so 8 straight balls to Nakagawa. He's going to be aboard with another walk, and that'll bring up the right fielder in Yatara Sugimoto. Gracie Lynn says they need more social media presence, just like to get into the American market. Americans would eat it up. Absolutely. You know, even the other leagues like the Korean league, people in Korea follow the Japanese league. Maybe not quite as they follow their own league, but certainly there is a interest. It is a better league, all told. Same thing in the league in Taiwan or in the Taiwanese league. Professional league. Keep an eye. There is the interest of the Japanese. Plus, there's some Taiwanese players in the NPB. So now, ready to get the first pitch from Yajuri is the right-handed hitting Sugimoto, and the breaking ball misses upstairs. That's 5 in a row now delivered by Yajuri. 5 balls, that is. Our friend Joe says, if it was a 7-game series, who would win between Japan's best team and MLB's worst team? So if you took the Colorado Rockies and you faced them off against the Yokohama DNA Bay Stars, I'd have to say, I mean, there's still major league players in North America, but boy, last couple of years, the White Sox and the Rockies have been pretty bad. There's a breaking ball that is waved at and missed. The count goes to 1-1. So that best of 7 series could be a victory. I mean, the Japanese league has really improved itself. But to be honest with you, there's some teams in Major League Baseball right now that are masquerading as major league teams. They are not very good. And you think about them, there's some teams that are just very average. The pitching is so-so. As the 1-1 pitch is ready to come, there's a breaking ball that is lifted into center field. Moving over underneath it is Tatsumi. Got room to make the catch, and Sugimoto is going to be retired for the first out of the inning. So one gone, it'll bring up the first baseman in Yuma Tongu. I would have said maybe 70, maybe more than that, maybe 15 years ago, I would have said still the major league teams would have been able to take care of the Japanese teams. But some of the teams right now, as we said, if you take the best Japanese team and you play them against the worst big league team in a best of 7 series, needle could point to the Japanese team in that case. So this brings the captain Tongu to the plate. He's batting .267 on the year. 8 homers, 29 runs batted in. He popped to second his first time up. As they throw over to first base and diving back in time is the runner, Nakagawa. Gracie Lynn says in a single game showing, well, you saw that in the exhibition season where the Hanshin Tigers took care of both the Cubs and the Dodgers. They have the pitching to be able to stack up and do that. To play a full season, I would say if Yokohama was in Major League Baseball, I don't think they'd be a 500 team. Although their pitching staff with Anthony Kay, Andre Jackson, Trevor Bauer, and of course a couple of the domestic players that they have on the bump, I would probably suggest that they would probably be maybe a 70-win team, as there is a breaking ball that misses down and the count's 1-0 to Tongu. Maybe 72 wins, depending on the division they're in as well. If you're in the National League West and if you put them in and replace Colorado with them, you're getting a chance to play the Dodgers, Giants, Padres, and Diamondbacks. Well, maybe that number is not 70 wins. But if you stick them in the American League Central, there's a breaking ball ticket for a called strike, and the count goes even to 1-1. And you get an opportunity to play the White Sox, the Royals, the Twins, maybe less so the Guardians and Tigers. Maybe they win 75 games in that division. So 1 ball and 1 strike as Tongu waits here on the offering from Yajiri. The runner at first, Nakagawa, 1 gone here in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. The game is all locked at 2s. Pitch on the way. Fastball misses outside. Count goes to 2-1 on Tongu. And just as the form of Yajiri would suggest, he only has 1 strikeout in the 2+ innings of work tonight. Not a strikeout pitcher doesn't have that 1 pitch to wipe out the hitters. Here's the 2-1. As the pitch on the way, it's a fastball swung on. It's popped up over on the right side. It's playable. Underneath it is the first baseman, Asamura. He's there to make the catch. And that is going to retire Tongu for the 2nd out of the inning. So 2 feeble at-bats by Tongu here tonight. Popped up to second his first time up and popped to first here for the 2nd trip to the dish. That's going to bring up the designated hitter in Tomoya Mori. Our friend Gracie Lynn points out, says the AL West is the weakest division this year in all of the MLB. She thinks it's the NL East and the American League East. I'm not so sure yet about the NL East outside of the Marlins. I think that it's certainly not one of the stronger divisions, but I don't know if it would be the weakest. So there's a pitch down in the dirt, and the count goes to 1-0. But the American League West, Houston kind of running away with it. I was looking at their pitching staff earlier tonight, and we were talking about it. Actually, I was having a conversation with Joe Mansman earlier, and I said that you've got Hunter Brown and Framber Valdez and a bunch of nobodies or Band-Aids because Lance McCullers is there, and he's a bit of a Band-Aid. There's a fastball swung on by Mori. It's lifted into left field. Moving back on it is Gonzalez, and it's going to get over his head and off the wall. Rounding third and heading home is going to be Nakagawa, and cruising into second with a 2-out double is going to be Mori. And the Buffaloes have regained the lead here with an RBI double off the bat of the designated hitter, Tomoya Mori. So Nakagawa going all the way from first base. That ball was driven into the opposite field gap by Mori. Did a good job of staying inside the ball and elevating it. I don't really know about the jump that Oscar Gonzalez had on that ball. I would have thought that maybe he would have had a chance for that. I'd have to go back and look at the replays. We saw his zoo route in the first inning that led to a Nishikawa double. So here Bert comes to the plate, Kotaro Kobayashi with 2 gone. The first pitch fastball misses inside, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Gracie Lynn's got her rankings. It's hard to argue that there is anybody better than the National League West. If they moved Colorado out of there, it would only get better. Here's the 1-0. Breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. We're here in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Buffaloes have just taken the lead 3-2 over the Golden Eagles. Lots of scoring in this affair here so far as the right-hander Yajiri delivers it. He spikes that one to the plate, and it goes all the way to the backstop. And that is going to advance Mori over to 3rd on the wild pitch. The way it looked like maybe if it was somebody else other than Mori running the bases, maybe they would have had an opportunity to come all the way around to score. That ball there bounced a good solid couple of feet in front of home plate. That's going to run the count to 2-1 now on Kotaro Kobayashi. So 2 balls and 1 strike. And the pitch on the way is a fastball that misses up and in, and the count now goes to 3-1. So 3 balls and 1 strike. 50 pitches now here for the Golden Eagles right-hander. And I think right now what you see on display here is probably a microcosm of the Eagles season, as there's a fastball taken for a called strike, and now the count runs full to Kobayashi. Why are the Golden Eagles not going to be able to make a step into the playoff picture this year? It starts on the mound, and that is my opinion. I think that they are just a little bit behind on the bump than everybody else, and that's going to keep them out of the playoffs. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball swung on, grounded to the left side, fielded by the shortstop Muniyama, who throws to first, and that's going to retire Kobayashi. Ground out 6-3 to end the inning, and that is going to do it for the Buffaloes, but they add a run to the board, 1 run in the inning on the benefit of 1 hit, no errors and 1 left. As we are now a third of the game into the books, your score is the Orix Buffaloes 3 and the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles 2. Our friend Trevor is in here pumping it up. For NPB scoring terms, this is a barn burner. Absolutely it is. We'll be back in just a couple minutes right after this. Welcome back, everybody. It is a 3-2 game as we move to the top of the 4th inning. We'll be back in just a couple moments right after this. Scoring updates from around the Central League. All 3 games are in action, and all 3 have the same score. Top of the fourth inning, Giants and Bay Stars locked at zeros. Top of the fourth inning, Swallows and Tigers are locked at zeros. Bottom of the third, it is the Dragons and the Carp, and they are all locked at zeros. So nothing is happening there. Glad we are calling this one as there is some action. The first pitch to Oscar Gonzalez, fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Gonzalez singled and scored a run his first time up as the pitch is swung on and fouled away, and the count goes to 0-2. Gonzalez has raised his season average up to 288. So all the action tonight right now in this one. 3-2, the Buffaloes have the lead over the Golden Eagles. Tajima rocking himself into the windup, and he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. He goes the other way, and he's going to line that one foul. It's going to bounce into the temporary seating down the right field line, and the count remains at 0-2. Gonzalez, Ito, and Nakajima. It's the heart of the order for the Golden Eagles here to come to bat in the fourth. They were able to claw their way back into it with a run in the second and a run in the third. As the pitch from Tajima is a breaking ball swung on, it missed. And falling to his knee was Gonzalez, and he is going to be retired on strikes for the first out of the inning. So one in the books. That is the second strikeout of the night recorded by Tajima. It's going to bring Yukiya Ito to the plate. Not so much sure if that was as much a breaking ball as was a split finger from the lefty. I don't often equate a lot of split fingers with left-handed pitchers, but in the Japanese league, you get a lot of that a lot of the time. So here comes Ito to the plate. He walked his first time up, and he was retired on a fielder's choice. First pitch, breaking ball misses down, and the count is 1-0. Our friend Harrison has popped in here tonight. He says, my Mets disappointed him. Well, you got some injuries going on over there, Harrison. Our friend Joe, who has been with us here tonight, fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. Problem is that it is a bit of an issue with the Mets in terms of injuries. Fastball swung on and lifted, foul. And it's going to reach the seats, and the count goes to 1-2. So 1-2 strikes. Harrison is rambling on tonight about an ACL. There's a fastball swung on. It is lifted into right center field. This ball is going to be down for a base hit past the glove of Nakagawa. Ito rounding first, heading into second, and he's going to cruise in safely with a one-out stand-up double. And he is aboard for the second time tonight. Absolutely drove that pitch. There's balls have been flying off the bat of both teams here tonight as they've been playing pepper with the wall. Nakagawa just passed his outstretched arm. Harrison says Bauer's throwing for Yokohama. Yeah, we just went through the scores in the Central. Everything was locked at zeros as we were cruising to the fourth inning. That brings Nakajima to the plate. Extra day's rest for Bauer, by the way. I did take a look at Bauer's stats for the month of June, excluding today, of course. And he got roughed up in that last outing against Chiba as the pitch on the way is a fastball that misses outside for ball one. Nakajima 0 for 1 tonight, bounced into a fielder's choice. Bauer, going into tonight's start, has had 5 starts in the month of June. June the 1st, he had 110 pitches against the Swallows, 121 against the Fighters, 131 against the Buffaloes, and 127 against the Lions. And then he was knocked out at only 41 against Chiba. There's a breaking ball swung on its hook-barreled foul into the seats down the right field line, and the count runs even to 1-1. My point being is that we said a couple of weeks ago that there was only 2 players in the MLB, Framber Valdez at 117 pitches and Eric Fetty at 110, who had thrown more than 110 pitches in an MLB game. And Bauer had gone 4 consecutive starts with 110 or more. Fastball swung on, looped into center field softly. It's going to get down for a base hit in front of Nakagawa. Slamming on the brakes at third base is Ito, and that is going to be a single for Nakajima. Ito is advanced over to third, and it'll bring up the center fielder Tatsumi to the plate. But when you throw that volume of pitches and you're doing it on 4 days rest, it's almost like a bit of an experiment that is going on. I think the extra days rest after throwing that volume of pitches should be able to do Bauer some wonders. We do have a visit from the pitching coach to the mound, as Tajima is going to be given some words of wisdom. And that conference is over. And on his way off of the field, back to the dugout, is the manager there. And so that will bring to the plate Tatsumi with runners on the corners and one gone. Tatsumi hitting .243 on the year. He bounced into a fielder's choice his first time up, driving in a run. That was his 11th RBI. Joe says no pitch count in Japan. Nope. There are a lot of knuckle draggers over there. Arm's going to be hanging right to the ground. First pitch, fastball misses down and away for a ball, and the count's 1-0. I will have to say, if this was Coastal Carolina or if this was any team in Major League Baseball, this umpire would be getting the heat right now because his strike zone has been erratic at best tonight. That pitch, I'd like to see the overhead view. That pitch looked pretty darn good. Here's the 1-0. Breaking ball also misses outside, and Wakatsuki, just the way that Wakatsuki's receiving the ball and holding it, we'll get a look at the more straight-ahead view. That pitch looked pretty darn good. Not sure what the home plate umpire was looking at on that one. And I'm not saying it because I'm cheering for the Buffaloes, because I don't really, in our stream, I don't cheer for one team or the other. I don't really care who wins. I want to see good baseball. Certainly the home plate umpire has been a bit of a problem. There's a ground ball hit right back to the pitcher, Tajima, unable to come up with it. He's got to chase it down over on the first baseline, and that is going to get a run in. Ito is going to score. It's going to be a fielder's choice, or it's going to be we'll call it a ground out to the pitcher, 1-3. He's going to be gone, Tatsumi, for the second out of the inning. In to score is Ito. That was a perfect double play ball, but he wasn't able to come up with it. Was Tajima. He's going to get a visit from the trainer. I'm going to take a look to see where it got him. Ball was a one-hop shot right back. He got his hands up. It looked like it may have hit him in the forearm of the glove side. As the ball trickled away, he was able to pounce off the mound to get it. Have the wherewithal to throw out the runner trying to go to first base. Joe's firing some bombs at the home plate umpire. Well, that puts Nakajima at second. It does cash a run in as Ito was able to come across. We're now locked up at 3s. So if you took the over for the first 5, you've already probably pumped a fist in this one, because 6 runs on the board in an NPB game through the first 5 usually would do that. So here's the pitch. Breaking ball swung on. Grounded just foul past the third base bag. Count is quickly 0-1 to Rui Muniyama. Muniyama 0 for 1 tonight, grounded to short his first time up. The rookie is playing shortstop. Interestingly enough, doesn't have any stolen bases. I find that peculiar. Sometimes you'll see shortstops, usually they run pretty good, can also swipe bags, but he is not in that case. There is a fastball taken for a called strike. The count goes to 0-2. Probably him and Seiya Watanabe were the early candidates for Rookie of the Year in the Pacific League. I have to do some more homework to see if anybody else has entered into that conversation. As the 0-2 pitch ready to come here from the lefty Tajima. There's a fastball that misses down and away, and the count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. As we mentioned, we are keeping an eye on those games that are going on in the Central League. Finally, the Dragons are on the board against the Carp with a 1-0 lead. There's a fastball from Tajima that swung on and missed. Muniyama down on strikes. The third strikeout recorded by Tajima And that is going to do it here in the fourth for the Eagles. They get a run in the inning on the benefit of 2 hits. There was no errors and 1 runner left the board. We're moving to the bottom of the fourth inning. Your score is the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles 3 and the Orix Buffaloes 2. Check that. We're all tied up at 3 at this point. I'm a little ahead of myself, but I'm sure the scoring is going to continue to come frequently when we return after this. Appreciate you guys for listening in on the Last Rouse Baseball YouTube channel. It is Buffaloes and Eagles locked at 3s. Eagles and Buffaloes locked at 3s as we go to the bottom of the fourth. We'll return right after this. Welcome back, everybody. Miguel Ujiri back on the bump for the start of the bottom of the fourth, and the first pitch breaking ball misses down to Kenya Wakatsuki for ball 1. Wakatsuki 0 for 1 tonight, popped to the catcher his first time up. There'll be Nishino and Nishikawa to follow here in the bottom half of inning number 4, and there's a slow breaking ball waved out and missed. The count now runs even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike to the catcher of the Buffaloes. Ujiri again working quickly, delivers another breaking ball that catches the outside corner. Now the count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. 3-3 here in the last half of the fourth inning. The runs have come early and often in this one. As there's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is lifted into right center field. Moving over underneath it is Tatsumi. He's there to make the play. And that is going to retire Wakatsuki for the first out of the inning. So 1 up and 1 away. That'll bring up Masahiro Nishino. It's been a bit of a busy evening so far for both the center fielders. It's the third putout recorded by the center fielder in this one here for the Golden Eagles in terms of a Tatsumi. And the first pitch breaking ball is taken for a called strike. The count's 0-1 to Nishino. Nishino hit a double his first time up, and he was stranded at second base. As the right-hander delivers, it's a breaking ball swung on. This is golfed just over the head of the second baseman. It's going to get down into right field. And Nishino's got himself his second hit of the evening, as he is now 2 for 2 with a 1-out single. It'll bring up the top of the order in Ryoma Nishikawa. Well, the hit parade continues in this one. That is going to be the 6th hit so far tonight for the Buffaloes. The Eagles have already got 4 to their name as well. The bats have been productive for both teams. Nishikawa striding at the plate. He's 1 for 2 tonight. He doubled the lead off the ball game. Our friend Harrison holding down the chat says Bauer has 5 walks, 2 Ks, and 2 hits. And the first pitch fastball delivered to Nishikawa, take it for a called strike. The count's 0-1. Best team here is the Buffaloes. That's their record. They're in second place. The Eagles are 5th place in the Pacific League. Harrison now says the Giants are out in front. As the 0-1 pitch on the way, there's a fastball swung on. It's grounded over to second. They go to second for 1, back to first. And it's going to be an inning-ending double play. Oh, what a turn. I wonder if they're going to want to take a peek at this one, but I think that's going to do it. It looks like Nishikawa is walking off. They're not going to review it. It's going to be a double play of the 4-6-3 variety, and the Buffaloes are done in their half of the fourth inning. There was no runs in the inning. There was a hit. There was no errors, and there was nobody left aboard. We are now through 4 complete. Your score is the Buffaloes 3 and the Eagles 3. Stick around, everybody. The top of the fifth is just around the corner when we come back after this. Welcome back, everybody. Our friend Gracie Lynn is going to tap out for the night. And for everybody that's here, you know what that signals. The game is right about ready to start heating up. Our friend Gracie Lynn has that kind of magic. When she leaves, the game explodes. So let's see what happens here as the Eagles will send the 9-1-2 hitters to come to bat. We do appreciate you for taking the time to stop in and listen. And as always, hope to see you tomorrow. So Hikaru Oda stepping to the plate. He had a triple and scored a run his first time up. He takes a breaking ball over for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Oda, Moribayashi, and Kobakata to come to bat. Gracie Lynn says, hopefully it gets crazy for y'all. We'll find out here, and you'll have to hear that a little bit later. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count now goes to 0-2. It was a very strange triple that Oda had hit. He hit the ball over the center fielder, Nakagawa's head. Nakagawa had stumbled. Sugimoto had to pick it up off the wall as he ended up with a triple his last at bat. There was a fastball that misses outside, and the count goes to 1-2. I know they have a umpire scorecard for Major League Baseball umpires. You can see it on Twitter, and there's a website, and they grade the umpires per game, how they do that with their calls. Fastball misses down and in. The count goes to 2-2. And one of the things that I think is fascinating when you watch that is you see the consistency and where the umpires are at. Well, they really need to be able to have somebody do it for the Japanese umpires as well. There's a fastball that misses outside. Count goes to 3-2. There are some pretty good umpires in the NPB. And then, just like in Major League Baseball, you have some others that are a little bit on the suspect side. As the pitch is a fastball swung on, it is lifted into right field. Moving back and making the catch is the right fielder, Sugimoto, and that's going to retire Oda for the first out of the inning. It'll bring up the top of the order in Moribayashi. Our friend Harrison's got some breaking news. He says he's heard something about Bauer. Joe Mansman says, which team does Tom Selleck play for? Yeah, he was a Chinichi Dragon back in the day in that movie. So Moribayashi coming to the plate, officially 0-for-1 tonight. He had a sac fly and drove in a run his last at bat as he takes a first pitch fastball at the knees for a called strike. The count's 0-1. So no balls and one strike. Moribayashi hitting in the leadoff spot. As there's a fastball that misses outside. He was the shortstop. Actually, in the infield right now, you've got the last three starting shortstops. Kobakata 3 years ago was pretty much the man for the Eagles at short. And then Moribayashi came on the scene, pushed him over to second, sometimes left field. Breaking ball misses down. It's now 2-1 to Moribayashi. Now Moribayashi pushed over to third base with the emergence of Muniyama. And that had moved Asamura over to first. Asamura was the longtime second baseman, not just with the Eagles, but the Lions. Fastball swung on, grounded up the middle. It's going to get into center field for a base hit. And Moribayashi is aboard with a one-out single, and that's going to bring up the second baseman in Hirota Kobakata. Anyway, back to our original thought here is you've got basically three players in the infield for the Eagles that have shortstop quality gloves. You would have to think defensively that that would play out in a positive way for them. Guess we're going to have to just wait and see. That brings Kobakata to the plate. 0 for 2 tonight. He's grounded out and struck out in his 2 trips. As the pitch is a fastball taken for a called strike. It counts 0-1. Said that Harris Bauer could be on the move to the minors per sources to make adjustment starts. That doesn't necessarily surprise me. The other thing is that he wants the ball every 5th day, which is fine. But to be able to log the type of pitches he's been doing, that's pretty tough. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count goes to 0-2. So he heard it from a reporter he met a while back who lives in Yokohama and works for Yahoo Sports Japan. Interesting. Yeah, I can't, that's typical in Japan. I wouldn't doubt that they might send him down for an adjustment start to try to get himself back. I think more than anything, it's probably the rest. There's a ground ball hit softly to second. Nishino fields it, but his only play is going to be to first. Moribayashi is going to advance to second on the ground out by Kobakata. He's in the books for the second out of the inning, and that's going to bring up the first baseman in Hideto Asamura. Well, for Asamura, he's 0 for 2 tonight as he comes to bat with the runner at second and 2 gone. So, yeah, a trip to the minors, as you do point out, you'll see players often in Japan. They will get sent down at times for adjustments or whatever it might be. And as I say, it's not something that's a unique situation. Sometimes people get all alarmed. I think if anything, he could probably use either extra day off or maybe cut down on maybe every other game, roll him out to 120 or 130 pitches. As the first pitch, fastball just misses outside and the count is 1-0. But that is another piece. The other thing is if you actually look at the games that Bauer has pitched in, their offense has not exactly been stellar support behind him. Same thing tonight. They've got 4 hits and they haven't cashed a run across. Hard to win games when your offense is doing nothing for you. You'd like to think that even once in a while you might be able to get a bailout at some point. The 1-0 on the way. There's a fastball that just misses down. Count goes to 2-0 on Hideto Asamura. Looming on deck is the left fielder Oscar Gonzalez. As Tajima leans in, getting his sign from his catcher Wakatsuki, he works himself to the set. And here comes the pitch. As he kicks and fires, it's a breaking ball missing down. It goes to 3-0. The home run in that ball game, or at least that was indicated to us by our friend there, it wasn't a home run off of Bauer. It was Maru had a RBI double to right center to cash in the 2 runs as it brought home Kishida and Katawaki. As the lefty Tajima holds to the set, now delivers. Fastball misses outside. That's going to be ball 4, and Asamura is going to draw himself a walk. The other pitcher in that game tonight is Foster Griffin of the Giants, who's having himself a pretty good year. He was a one-time, looks like that might be the end of the night for Tajima. Looks like the manager is coming out. We're going to have a pitching change here as the Buffaloes manager is going to the bullpen. It's a little bit of a quick hook for Daiki Tajima, but his night's going to be over as it's only one gone. 81 pitches for the lefty, 47 of which were for strikes. But Oscar Gonzalez is going to get a new pitcher here to face him here in the fifth inning. 4 2/3 innings today for Tajima. His line is not over yet, but he is going to be getting the hook here as the manager, Kishida, is going to be out to take him out. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments. It is the Buffaloes and the Eagles locked up at 3 apiece here in the top of the fifth inning, but the Eagles are threatening with 2 on and 2 out. The big fella, Oscar Gonzalez, coming to the plate. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be right back after this little timeout.
Shall we begin? Let's begin now. Let's begin now.
Welcome back, everybody. There is a pitching change as the Orix Buffaloes are going to a right-hander. This is going to be number 95, and that is going to be Kaito Saiki, who is coming on in relief. So he'll be taking over here for Daiki Tajima in a difficult spot here with 2 aboard, 2 out, and Oscar Gonzalez coming to the plate. So he is completing his tune-up tosses. And we will be ready to resume the action here in just a couple moments. When you think of the back end of the bullpen for the Buffaloes certainly, when they can go to Perdomo and Machado at the back end, they can really seal off some games. It's now just getting the link to them at 8 and 9. We'll see how this ends up shaping up here for the Buffaloes tonight. So it is going to be a bit of a bullpen link game here, starting off for the Orix Ball Club. And the big one here to come to bat is Oscar Gonzalez. Gonzalez is 1 for 2 tonight. Got a single and 2 trips. He's also scored one of the Eagles' runs. He did strike out his last time up. Batting .283 on the campaign with a couple homers and 8 runs driven in. So he steps up to the dish here, ready to face the right-hander Saiki. 3-3 Eagles and Buffaloes. If you probably took the early over in this one, you're grinning like the Cheshire Cat. Who would have thought they would score 6 runs in the first 4 innings? As the right-hander ready to deliver kicks and fires. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. That pitch was at 93 miles an hour on the paint. So 0-1 to Gonzalez. Joe says, now why do I don't know what you're asking there, Joe. Looks like your fingers are getting glued together a bit. Why do the Buffaloes have a bullpen? I don't know. Maybe it's a Buffalo pen. Here we go. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. As the right-hander delivers, it's a fastball that misses upstairs. And the count now runs even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. There is more scoring around the NPB. As we were talking a little bit earlier, we were saying about the counter to Bauer tonight in that game between the Giants and the Bay Stars is Foster Griffin. Was enjoying himself a really nice season for the Giants. I wonder if he'll bounce back to the big leagues. He's a 30-year-old lefty. Breaking ball misses down, or soon to be 30-year-old. He turns 30 the end of next month. As that breaking ball misses down and away to Gonzalez. 2 balls and 1 strike here to the left fielder of the Eagles. Runner at second is Murray Biashi. Runner at first, Asamura. 2 gone here in the top of the 5th inning. Gonzalez facing the reliever Saiki, who is come on for Daiki Tajima. As the right-hander works himself to the set. Here comes the 2-1. Kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on and lifted foul. down the first base line. The count runs even to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. I think Joe is trying to impart some of his humor on us here tonight. We appreciate you for that as well, Joe. Care about you lots. Here comes the 2-2 pitch to Oscar Gonzalez as the right-hander Psyche holds to the set. And now he kicks and delivers. That's a fastball swung on, hammered foul down the first base line and off that temporary seating, and the count remains at 2-2. Oh, he tried to sneak the fastball by him inside, and it was a good piece of hitting there by Gonzalez, who was able to stay inside and fight it off. So 2 balls and 2 strikes it is. Buffalo right-hander really loads up on the rosin bag. He's got the rosin all over his hat, and it explodes out of his hand when he releases the ball. It would drive you nuts if you were a hitter. Here's the 2-2 pitch. As the catcher Wakatsuki stands up, and now he taps the ground. He wants the pitch down. There's a breaking ball swung on it, is tapped right back to the pitcher. Psyche fields it. He throws on the run, and Gonzalez is going to be retired on a ground out 1-3 to end the inning. And that is going to do it here for the Eagles in their half of inning number 5. We're halfway through this one. There was no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 2 left aboard in the top of the 5th. We're now moving to the bottom of the 5th inning, all locked up at 3s. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few with all the action right after this.
Well, you got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole. Yeah.
Welcome back, everybody. We are skipping to the bottom half of inning number 5, and it is going to be coming to bat Yuma Mune, Kai Nakagawa, and Yataro Sugimoto, the 2, 3, and 4 hitters in the Buffalo lineup. We were peeking in on the out-of-town scoreboard. All the other games are in the Central League. The other 2 games in the Pacific go off in about 2.5 hours' time. Dragons have a 1-0 lead in the bottom of the 5th over the Carp. 2-0, the Tigers have the lead, bottom of the 5th over the Swallows. Giants are over the Bay Stars, 2-0 in the bottom of the 5th at the Tokyo Dome. There is a first pitch breaking ball that misses down and into Yuma Mune, and the count is 1-0. Mune 1 for 2 tonight, has a single and 2 trips. He's also flown to center field. Batting from the left side here against the right-hander Yajuri, who kicks and delivers. Fastball swung on and grounded foul over on the first base side. Count goes even to 1-1. Well, if you would have asked me a couple of innings ago who I thought would have been still in the ball game, if it was Yajuri or Tajima, my money would have been on Tajima, but he had the early exit in the top half of the 5th inning. It was 60 pitches through 4 for Yajuri. As he rocks himself into the windup and delivers, there's a fastball that bounces up to the plate, and the count now goes to 2-1 to Mune. So probably would have got that one wrong. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Dylan North says, how you watching this game? Well, if you're in Japan, you can pick it up on J-Sport. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Yajuri rocking himself into the windup and delivers. There's a fastball that misses down and in, and it's now run full to Mune. Jury has walked 2 tonight, and it's both been to the same hitter. And there's a fastball that misses inside, and that's going to be ball 4 as Mune is aboard. And that is going to put him aboard at first base. It'll bring up the center fielder in Kai Nakagawa. Dylan says he doesn't live in Japan. Well, that's a problem then. So depending on where you're at in the States and in Europe, there's different feeds that you might be able to get. It's not an easy piece, as that is going to be bringing up Nakagawa to the plate. Nakagawa has walked twice tonight himself. He did come around to score the 3rd run of the game for the Buffaloes back in inning number 3. Batting .255 on the campaign with those 5 homers and 31 RBIs. As the right-handed hitting Nakagawa digs himself in, and the right-hander Yajiri ready to go back to work. And he fires over to first base, and diving back in time is the base runner Mune. So again, tapping the plate. Nakagawa here. I would normally think of this as a bunt situation, but with the 3-hole hitter at the plate, I wouldn't see that happening. There was a fastball swung on. It is grounded fair down the left field line into the corner. Mune rounded second, heading to third. Gonzalez picking it up. Mune is going to come around, and he's going to score the 4th run of the game for the Buffaloes as he comes all the way around on a double off the bat of Nakagawa. So a RBI double has put the Buffaloes back out in front 4-3. And they are still threatening here as they've got nobody out here in the inning, but it looks like Miguel Yajuri's night is done. So both pitchers with early exits here as the manager for the Golden Eagles is coming out. And the hook is coming out to get the right-hander here. And just as we predicted, when our good friend Gracie Lynn leaves the stream, all heck starts to break loose, and that's where we're at here in the inning. So manager Mickey on to make a pitching change, and we'll be back in just a couple of moments. Your score now is 4-3 for the Buffaloes on the RBI double off the bat of Nakagawa. We'll be back in just a couple of moments right after this timeout. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Yataro Sugimoto to come to the plate, and the Golden Eagles have gone to the bullpen as they are calling on Masaya Nishigaki to come in to have to face him here. The right-hander is taking over here from Miguel Yajuri, who had worked 4+ innings. He's responsible for the runner Nakagawa at second. That is his base runner, but he leaves the game allowing 4 runs through his 4+ innings of work. But again, it is incomplete because Nakagawa is still his responsibility. So Sugimoto striding to the plate. He is 1 for 2 tonight. He has driven in half of the Buffalo runs. He had a 2-run double in the first. He's also flown to center field. So he bats here against the right-hander as he is ready to go, as the right-hander works himself into the set position. And he pitches on the way. It's a fastball that misses outside for a ball, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes to Yataro Sugimoto. Buffalo crowd is cheering on their feet, looking to try to punch another run across the board. Buffaloes and the Eagles in the second of a 3-game set, coming off of interleague play. Here comes the pitch. Fastball misses down and away. The count goes to 2-0. It's Yuma Tongu who is looming on deck. Last night between these two teams, it was the Buffaloes with a 10-2 blowout over the Golden Eagles. It was Curry who got the win, who goes to 6-4, the former Carp. And it was Hayakawa who took the loss, who dropped to 2-6. As the right-hander holds to the set and the pitch on the way, it's a fastball that catches the outside corner for called strike. The count now goes to 2-1. Harrison says that the Bay Stars don't seem to be able to score for Bauer. Yeah, that seems to be the case. I mean, his record, and at times his numbers are not the best, although they did put up 9 against Chiba in his last start, and they couldn't win that one. It was a 10-9 game. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball that catches the inside corner. It's called strike, and it's now 2-2 to Sugimoto. Runner at second, Nakagawa. Nobody gone here in the 5th. The Buffaloes have already punched one across, and they're looking for more here. Our good friend Harrison throwing bombs from glass houses or stones from glass houses. As the 2-2 pitch is ready to come here from the right-hander. As Nishigaki delivers, it's a split-finger pitch, swung on and missed, and Sugimoto looked sick on that one. He's gone for the first out of the inning, and that'll bring up the first baseman in Yuma Tongu. Well, Tongu coming to the plate. He's 0 for 2. He has popped to second and popped to first in his 2 trips. 0 for 2 tonight in this one. I was saying earlier on, Luke Voigt had signed with the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. That official signing was last week. He has arrived in Japan, although I have to say I don't know what the time frame for him to get into the first team would look like. As the pitch is a fastball taken for a called strike. The count's 0-1 to Tongu. He is not on the game sheet as of today. So no balls and 1 strike to Tongu. You know, in years past, the Golden Eagles have kind of struggled with their international players who they've signed and what they've produced. So it would be a shot in the arm if they could add a couple of players that could give them a bit of a jump. If Luke Voigt can find his home run stroke, and Oscar Gonzalez already producing a little bit here for them in his early goings, as there's a breaking ball that misses inside. I think of some of the players in recent times. Chris Gittins, well, he was hurt more than anything. Rusty Castillo was a bad signing by the Boston Red Sox and a bad signing by Tohoku. But he made a lot of money with not playing very well at both levels of the game in North America and in Japan. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Fastball that misses down, and it goes to 2-1 on Tongu. Brandon Dixon, who was with the Detroit Tigers, had a pretty good year also with Cincinnati, was absolutely abysmal in Tohoku. Jose Marmoleos, who was the AAA MVP one year, signed with Tohoku, and he wasn't very good there either. There was just a litany of bats that they signed internationally that went there and absolutely just died on the vine in Tohoku. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Fastball misses up and away, and it goes to 3-1 on Tongu. Tomoya Mori waiting his turn on deck. It's a very difficult part of the batting order here for the right-hander Nishigaki to have to navigate through. Sugimoto, Tongu, and Mori, all three are very good run producers. So 3 balls and 1 strike as Tongu waits on the offering from the right-hander. As he kicks and delivers, there's a fastball swung on it. It's chopped up the middle, fielded by the second baseman Kobakata, who throws to first. Nakagawa is going to advance to third. It goes in the books as a ground out, 4-3 for the second out of the inning. That's going to leave it up to the designated hitter in Tomoya Mori. Well, Mori coming to the plate, he's 1 for 2 tonight. He has doubled home a run and struck out in his 2 trips, but that was against the starter Yajuri. He hammered the ball into the oppo gap to bring Nakagawa home in the 3rd inning. He's got a chance to do it again here as Nakagawa is the runner at third with 2 gone. 4-3 Buffaloes out in front here. Both of the starting pitchers have been knocked out of the ball game. As the right-hander Nishigaki getting his signs from his catcher Oda and ready to go after the left-handed hitting Mori. And the first pitch is a fastball. That one sails in at 94 upstairs for ball 1. The count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Mori batting from the left side here against the right-handed throwing Nishigaki, who gets the sign again, holds at the belt, and raises it to his chest. Kicks and fires. Breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike it is. So 1 ball and 1 strike. As the left-handed hitting Mori waits on the offering here from the right-hander. Eagles trying to get themselves out of the jam. There's a fastball that misses up and away. Count runs to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike it is to Mori. If you're listening because the 5th inning is always a key inning in the Japanese, a lot of people who like to put their nickels and dimes down on the game, one would have to think the over-under has already been blown apart at 7. Amazing that they got this many runs this early on in the game. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Fastball comes inside. Did it hit Mori? Almost did. Backs him off the plate. It's going to go to 3-1 now. We'll get a look at the replay on that one. 4-seam fastball just kept riding in. Oh, boy. You know what? It looked like it got through the elbow and where the side of the body was. And it was definitely gonna plug him. But he had kept his elbow up just a little bit more as he was about to collapse, and it got through between his body and his elbow as he was bringing his arm to the side. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Fastball misses outside. It's going to be ball 4, and Mori's got himself a walk. That's going to put runners at first and second, and it's going to bring Kotaro Kobayashi to the plate. Well, Kobayashi has been in this situation a couple of times tonight where he's had runners in scoring position and hasn't been able to cash in anybody. In the first inning, he flew out to right field with runners at second and third to end the first. He had a runner at third in the 3rd inning, and he grounded to short. So Kobayashi has been a bit of a rally killer tonight in this one. 0 for 2 as it stands for the shortstop of the Buffaloes. His average is dipped to 259 on the year. 4 homers and 24 runs driven in. So Kobayashi is standing in, waiting on the offering here from the right-hander. Runners are at the corners here. You've got Mori at first, Nakagawa at third, 2 gone in the 5th. As Nishigaki holds to the set, here comes the pitch. Breaking ball misses inside, and the count goes to 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Lots of action here tonight. A 4-3 ball game. Runs have been scoring both teams early and often. I would have to think that as this game starts to go a little bit deeper, we're going to start to see the bullpen arms of the Buffaloes come in and seal the deal. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball misses upstairs. The count goes to 2-0. I was talking about it early part of the game when our friend Manny Mike was in. I just think this Buffalo lineup is too dangerous. And when you get to Perdomo and Machado on the back end, it is pretty much lights out. The problem for the Buffaloes will be to get through the 6th and the 7th innings, one would have to think. So here comes the 2-0 offering as Kirby in a good hitter's count. Right-hander holds himself to the set position. Pitch on the way. Fastball misses low, and the count goes to 3-0. So 3 balls and no strikes. Saying earlier that the home plate umpire tonight has been erratic. So far in relief here, Nishigaki, 18 pitches, and 12 of them have been for balls. That's just not good enough at this level. Only 33% strike rate. That is a recipe for disaster. So here comes the 3-0 offering. Fastball. Oh, Kirby had green light. Fouls out on the first base side of home plate. The count goes to 3-1. Center cut fastball. He had a good cut, but not able to turn that around into fair territory. So 3 balls and 1 strike. Kirby taps in. He said he's got a very upright position. It looks like he also has adopted some of that swing technique that you would see from the likes of Kerry Carpenter in Major League Baseball. And that is a fastball that misses inside. It's going to be ball 4, and Kirby is going to get himself a walk. Back-to-back walks. You're going to load the bases. That's going to bring up the catcher in Kenya Wakatsuki. If you're a Golden Eagle fan and supporter, you got to hope that you just throw the ball across the plate. Wakatsuki can find ways to get himself out. He's not exactly known for his bat as much as he is for his defense. But when your pitchers are all over the place, as is the reliever Nishigaki here, Buffalo's got a chance to blow this thing apart. As the right-hander gets his side from his catcher, Oda. Bases full of Buffaloes. They're looking to stampede the Eagles. First pitch fastball misses way upstairs. Ball 1 to Wakatsuki. I think if I'm the Buffaloes, I might just give the take sign to their hitter here until he gets to 2 strikes. Might as well. So 1 ball and no strikes to Wakatsuki. As the right-hander again gets his sign from the catcher, Oda. I don't think there's much mystery here. Center cut fastballs are on the table. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on, popped up over on the first base side of home plate, but it's going to reach the seats, and the count runs even to 1-1. I'll have to get a look at the replay on that one. That pitch there looked like middle away, probably the best pitch that right-hander Nishigaki's thrown to the last 3 batters. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Wakatsuki. Just as a reminder, the end of this half inning, we like to call it our Japanese halftime. That is where the 2 clubs take about a 5-minute break here in the Pacific League. As there's a fastball that comes inside. Did it hit Wakatsuki or did it hit the end of the bat? He thinks it's hit him, and he's going to make his way to first base. I have a feeling we're going to get this one reviewed. I want to look at the replay here. It is going to get the runner in from third, but let's see if the Eagles are going to go and have a look at it. Wakatsuki selling it as he makes his way down to first base. 5-3, they have the lead. But it does look like they're going to go and review this. Wakatsuki has touched the base, and he's going to go off, as it is his throwing hand that has been impacted here. If it's the throwing hand, that's the one that's further up the bat. It's not at the end of the knob. As the umpires are going down to have a look at this one. Oh, if that is the case, if he is hit by a pitch, it's extended the lead for the Buffaloes to 5-3. We'll wait for the umpires to make their decision. We haven't seen a replay on it yet. Now we're getting the replay queued up. Almost looked like it hit him in the wrist more than anything. And it was the top hand in particular, or maybe even the backhand. The back of the hand. We get a look at the replay there. Yeah, it definitely hit him. I don't think that's any question. I think maybe the one question is was it on the swing? Was it in the strike zone? And I don't think that was the case either. So here come the umpires with their decision. And it is going to be a hit by pitch. He is awarded first base, as we suspected. So Wakatsuki's going to get himself an RBI in to score the 5th run. The second of the inning here is Nakagawa. The Eagles have been charged with a video-assisted replay, a timeout. They only have one left. It is going to bring the second baseman, Masahiro Nishino, to the plate. But we are still waiting the return of the batter, Kirby-Ashi. For those of you, or I should say the batter, Wakatsuki. For those of you who are your part-time Japanese listeners, when players get hit or they suffer some sort of injury, they sometimes take them down the tunnel. As they take them down the tunnel for a medical examination, they do it off of the field. We're just waiting here to see if Wakatsuki is going to be able to continue tonight. The home plate umpire is over. We're going to see if they are going to make a substitution. If Wakatsuki's night is over, that would be a huge loss defensively for the Buffaloes. He did get it on the throwing hand, but it does look like he is going to be coming back out to run here. So that brings Wakatsuki back out to run. The runner at third is Mori. The runner at second, Kirby-Ashi. Runner at first, Wakatsuki. Masahiro Nishino stepping to the plate, who's 2 for 2 tonight. He's got a single and double in his 2 trips. And the Buffaloes are looking for more runs here. Our friend Trevor Parker is pumping his fist. He wants more runs for the Buffaloes. And waggling the bat is Nishino. As the right-hander works himself to the set, now delivers a first pitch breaking ball that misses outside. 1 ball and no strikes. They are frothing at the mouth, are the Buffalo fans. A lot of support tonight. Very interesting to see. So the right-hander again holding to the set. Here's the pitch. Fastball came inside, almost hit Nishino. That's the second time in the inning a batter's almost been hit. And then, of course, Wakatsuki was hit. That pitch there, very similar to the one delivered to Tomoya Mori. That one just missed inside. So 2 balls and no strikes to Nishino. The manager, Mickey, for the Golden Eagles, seated on the bench looking like he's in a lot of pain having to watch this as well. As the 2-0 pitch forthcoming from Nishigaki. As the right-hander holds set, now delivers. There's a fastball that misses upstairs. It's now 3-0. One would have to think that the right-hander here might get a fast track to the farm team after a performance like this. 26 pitches, 18 of them have been for balls. And if I'm Nishino, I'm sitting with the bat on my shoulder for the next 2 pitches. So 3 balls and no strikes to the Buffaloes second baseman. They are enjoying a 5-3 lead And the pitch on the way is a fastball taken for a called strike. And the count goes now to 3-1. And you might as well do it all over again. Park the bat on the shoulder, see if he could throw you another one. Nishino taps the plate, wangles the bat. The right-hander Nishigaki, 27 pitches already here in relief of Miguel Yajuri as the right-hander holds to the set. Here's the pitch. Fastball inside, ball 4, and we got another walk. So when is the bleeding going to stop? It's back-to-back walks, then a hit batter and another walk. And that has punched another run across the plate. The Buffaloes are now up ahead 6-3. It's going to bring the top of the order in Nishikawa to the plate, who is the 9th hitter to come to bat in the inning. And a RBI there for Nishino. He is aboard for the 3rd time tonight. And the Tohoku fans, all they could do is sit and watch hopelessly as their pitchers have been unable to throw enough strikes. Trevor Parker pumping the fists and the pom-poms, looking for another hit or a walk. This right here, we're just hoping for a strike from the Golden Eagles. And the first pitch is a breaking ball. It's taken for a called strike. And the count is 0-1. Harrison's final line. Yeah, we see it there, Harrison. I'm more concentrated on this game here tonight. We would have called the Bauer game, but decided to do this one. We can peek in on the rest. Buffaloes with the bases loaded here, bottom of the 5th, 2 gone. The 0-1 pitch coming to Nishikawa is a fastball that swung on it, is lifted foul down the left field line. It's going to run the count to 0-2, so no balls in, 2 strikes. As a reminder, we'll be back on the airwaves again tomorrow, but it'll be the Lions and the Fighters. So hopefully you can join us for that. They go off a little later this evening. They go off in a couple hours' time. We won't be on the call for the late night games. So no balls and 2 strikes. Pitch on the way. Fastball misses upstairs. Goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Yeah, we're kind of interested, but at the same time, kind of not. I mean, we'll look at the scores, but we won't get into the in-depth of that. As we mentioned earlier, Foster Griffin looking to go to 5-0 on the year for the Giants. That might be a bigger story. Maybe he gets an opportunity for a bounce back in 2026. Here's the 1-2. Breaking ball misses outside. The count goes to 2-2 on Nishikawa. One thing I don't like about the Japanese league is that you can't always get to see the bullpens. In Saitama, the Cebu Lions, their bullpen is not on the field, but it is on the left field and right field lines. A lot of the other parks, the bullpens are underground. You really have to rely on the television or communication in the stadium to tell you who's up. Fastball swung on and grounded foul over on the third base side. The count remains at 2-2 to Nishikawa. If you had just joined us, the Buffaloes have scored 3 times here in the top of the 5th inning. The Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles have forgotten how to throw strikes. 33 pitches here for the reliever in the 5th inning. Buffaloes have the bases loaded with 2 gone. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes to Nishikawa. Nishikawa waggling the bat. The right-hander Nishigaki holding into the set position. Here comes the 2-2. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on and missed. And mercifully, the inning has come to an end for the Golden Eagles as Nishikawa goes down on strikes for the 3rd out of the inning. But damage has been done, and lots of it. 3 runs in the inning on the benefit of only 1 hit. There was no errors, and there were 3 runners left aboard. To put it in perspective, there was 4 walks issued and a hit batter in the inning. And that's really all you need to know from the Eagles pitching. Your score as we move to the top of the 6th, it is a 6-3 ball game for the Buffaloes. As we mentioned, is what we like to call Japanese halftime. We'll come back in just a few. and give you all of the action in just a bit. Thanks for being with us on the Last Rouse Baseball YouTube channel. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the top of the sixth inning just around the corner, and the Buffaloes are enjoying a 6-3 lead at the expense of the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. It was a 3-3 ball game as we had entered the bottom of the fifth inning, and the Buffaloes flexed their muscles. Well, not really. They got 3 runs on the benefit of 4 walks and a hit batter. We do have a pitching change now for the Buffaloes as they are going to the bullpen yet again. It's going to be number 40, Sho Iwasaki, who is coming on in relief. So he will take over here as he will be the third pitcher used by the Buffaloes in this one. So Iwasaki on in relief as he will take over here. And he will be facing Yukiya Ito, Daisuke Nakajima, and Ryosuke Tatsumi, the 5, 6, and 7 hitters in the batting order for the Golden Eagles. So he has completed his tune-up tosses, and we are ready to resume the action. As we had mentioned tonight, we will be back on the airwaves again tomorrow for the Lions and the Fighters. Same time, same channel, just different teams. So Iwasaki ready to go back to work. He kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on. It is popped up over on the left side of the infield. In foul territory is Mune. It's playable, and he makes the catch. And with one pitch, we have one away here in the sixth inning. That's going to bring up the right fielder in Daisuke Nakajima. Interesting in this situation here, you get a pitcher who is a starter or predominantly a starter. You have to realize after the interleague play was completed on Sunday, there was only a Tuesday game between the Marines and the Giants. It was a rained out makeup game, but everybody had Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday off with the exception of those two Central, or the one Central and one Pacific League club. Fastball misses down, and the count is 1-0 to Nakajima. So they will try to get possibly get some of their midweek starters in some action here over the next couple of days before they turn it back over to them next week. It's almost like a live side bullpen. Fastball misses down, and the count is 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. Dylan says there are only 7 innings because this is a doubleheader. Well, first off, it's not a doubleheader, and they don't play softball rules. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 2-1. It's very rare that the NPB will ever have a doubleheader. In fact, over the last 5 years, I can't think of one, which is very interesting in Japan, why they don't do the day-night stuff like they do in North America. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Fastball swung on and lifted foul over on the third base side. The count now goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. We were talking a little bit earlier about the use of social media and the Japanese. They're going to be having another meeting in July. The Players Association has really been putting pressure on the archaic mindset of the NPB ownership. Fastball swung on and grounded foul over on the third base side. The Pacific League certainly has a greater social media presence. The Central League is stuck somewhere back in 1955, as their mindset is just not quite in the modern times, as there's a slow breaking ball swung on, grounded to short. Kobayashi fields it with one hand, fires to first, and Nakajima is retired on a ground out 6-3 for the second out of the inning. So 2 gone. It'll bring up the center fielder in Ryusuke Tatsumi. But just a couple of more pieces with regards to not just the games and the social media, but even structurally. The league basically plays Tuesday through Friday. Or Tuesday through Sunday. There's very few Monday games. And a lot of the games, they start local time at 6 o'clock or 1800 hour during the week. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count's 0-1. And you'd think that if you staggered the starts, even on the weekends, where you stagger some of the games, maybe you play a 1 o'clock first pitch, a 4 o'clock, and a 6 o'clock, people would watch games even if it's not their team, as the fastball misses down and the count goes to 1-1. But a lot of the games, sometimes they run them off all at the same time. It makes you wonder and scratch your head why they do that. In Major League Baseball, I do realize there's time zones across the United States and in Canada where you can play in the West Coast and all the way to the East Coast and the different time zones. As there's a fastball swung on, it's grounded over to first, fielded neatly by the first baseman Tagu. He's going to win the race to the bag, and that's going to do it for the third out of the inning. And that will do it here for the Golden Eagles. I'll continue my rant about social media, the structure of the league, and everything else. But that being said, we still like Japanese baseball and the way it's played. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board here in the sixth inning for Tohoku. We're moving to the bottom of the sixth. Your score is the Buffaloes 6 and the Golden Eagles 3. I'll be back in just a couple of moments. We appreciate you guys for listening in with us. We'll answer Dylan's questions when we return. Be right back after this. You are listening to live NPB commentary with Last Raps Baseball. Be sure to check out our podcast, The Japan Baseball Report, either on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to join our Facebook group as well. It is NPB Japan Baseball Report. Stay up to date with all the other followers who are a fan of the Japanese game. Welcome back, everybody. Thankfully, the reliever for Tohoku, Masaya Nishigaki, has been put out of his misery. We are going to the bullpen. It is going to be number 31, Shota Watanabe, coming on in relief, as he will be the third pitcher used by the Golden Eagles in this one. It's a very difficult outing for Nishigaki, as he had not thrown enough strikes, but he was able to finally wiggle his way out of that last half inning. It's going to be the 2, 3, and 4 hitters to come to bat for the Buffaloes, meaning Mune, Nakagawa, and Sugimoto. Manager Mickey, boy, oh boy, you have to kind of feel for him a little bit as he sits in that dugout. Nowhere to look, nowhere to hide, nowhere to run. You get the hands and the cards that you were dealt with, and you have to make it work from there. So Mune coming to bat, he's 1 for 2 tonight. He scored a pair of runs. He has singled and he has flown to center in his 2 trips, as the right-hander ready to deliver. And the first pitch is a fastball that misses outside. The count is 1-0. Dylan says he was confused for some reason. In Mexico, they only play 7 innings on the second game. Yeah, you see in the minor leagues sometimes, too, they play 7s in North America, as opposed to that. I don't know why they went to that rule. I know sometimes there used to be where they would go 9 and 7. That was kicked around for a while. But certainly to go 7 innings, it's a little bit different. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. There is a huge difference. A 7-inning game, you can get your starter almost, you could stretch them all the way to 7 in certain leagues and be okay with that. It's really the 8th and 9th innings that are the differences. When you get into the bullpens, that's where the games can be won and lost. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed, and Mune is in the hole at 1-2. And certainly in Japan, we talk about archaic thinking, but it is changing. A lot of people, even the younger people in Japan, are saying that the game has been changing quite a bit in the world of Japan. There was a fellow that I know who is a ex-professional player, and we don't talk always frequently, but we do communicate. And one of the things when I was in Japan, I was meeting with him and visiting with him, and Hiroshi was telling me that the universities will sometimes now play the second teams and some of the industrial league teams will play them, whether it be in an exhibition game or farm game in season. And you go back even 10 years ago, and that would never happen. I was in Saitama, and there was a university team playing against the second team when the second team had some time off. As that fastball misses down, it's now 3-2 to Mune. And he said, you go back 10 years ago, and that was unheard of. They didn't usually cross the lines, but the benefits in doing it, especially with the second team, is you obviously get games. It's maybe not the standard of facing a professional minor league team. But the other thing is it also improves the standard of the collegiate teams who would come in and play the exhibition game. So here comes the 3-2 pitch, but instead, Watanabe is going to step off the backside of the rubber and go to the rosin bag, and he'll want to come back and do this all over again. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to Mune, as the right-hander works himself to the set position. And now he kicks and delivers, and it's a fastball swung on it as grounded foul past the bag at third base, and the count remains at 3-2 to Mune. So just archaic in terms of some of the thinking. And as I was mentioning earlier, when you think of Japan and you think of the film and cinematic and VHS, movies, beta, all the rest of that stuff that was, a strength of Japan. And you think of, even the internet and the computers and so on and so forth, as there's a fastball swung on it, is lifted foul into the seats down the left field line, and the count remains at 3-2. just how kind of slow they are with regards to the internet, how the internet can use to promote and to help their league. It's almost like they don't want the help, which is unfortunate, because the people that do come in and listen to our channel are all about Japanese baseball, as we are as well. So here comes the 3-2 pitch as the right-hander Watanabe kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on. This is going to be grounded up the middle. And Mune is going to lead it off with a base hit here in the last half of the 6th inning. So Mune is aboard. That's going to bring up the center fielder in Kai Nakagawa. Well, for Nakagawa, it's not been a stellar night defensively, but he has helped the ball club with his time at the plate. Officially 1 for 1. He has a double and an RBI. He has scored a pair of runs and he's walked a couple of times. So offensively, Nakagawa has been producing as he comes to bat here with the runner at first and nobody out. Quick peek at that out-of-town scoreboard. Bottom of the 5th inning at the Tokyo Dome, Giants enjoying a 5-0 lead over the Bay Stars. Bottom of the 8th at the Jingu Stadium, Tigers leading the Swallows 2-0. And the Carp have now taken the lead over the Dragons at the Vantolin Dome, 2-1 in the top of the 7th. Breaking ball delivered to Nakagawa, taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Nakagawa batting from the right side here against the right-handed throwing Watanabe. Average at .259. He has got 32 runs driven in on the year as the right-hander Watanabe kicks and fires. It's a fastball that bounces up to the plate. The count goes even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. As we mentioned, tomorrow, the game between the Fighters and the Lions. Be on the call for that one. They haven't announced the starters for that one yet. Usually the starters are announced at some point early in the game. Usually it's 24 hours out. But that game doesn't get going for another hour and a half, so we don't know what the prospective starters would be for that one. As there's a pitch that misses down, and the count now goes to 2-1. The pitching matchup for this game tomorrow night would be Azuma and Fuji. Azuma for the Buffaloes, Fuji for the Eagles. All the pitching matchups over in the Central League have been announced. Avila will take to the hill against Ito. That game for the Swallows versus the Tigers. Giants send Akahoshi to the hill against Andre Jackson of the Bay Stars. As the 2-1 pitch is on the way, it is a split finger pitch waved at and missed. Count goes to 2-2 on Nakagawa. And Matsuba will take on Sato between the Dragons and the Carp. That game goes at the Vantolin Dome tomorrow night in Nagoya. Starters for Lions and Fighters and Marines and Hawks won't be announced for until at least the game time in Japan. So 2 balls and 2 strikes as the right-hander leans in. That's the one thing in Japan. They don't announce the starters like in Major League Baseball. Usually they'll announce the series starters so you know who's pitching games 1, 2, and 3 in advance. There's a breaking ball swung on and lifted foul down the right field line. Unless, of course, a team decides to use an opener, then sometimes they'll be the TBD and a late announcement. Dylan says he's jealous that I'm in Japan. I'm not in Japan, but we're not in the States either, but we aren't giving you the call on this one. We've been to Japan on numerous times and occasions. Unfortunately, not going to make it there this year. We're going to be in Taiwan at the end of the summer, at the end of August. Getting an opportunity to go check out the Chinese Professional League. And there's a fastball taken for a called third strike. And Nakagawa stood there like the house by the side of the road, and he watched that one go by for out number 1. So he's in the books for the first out. That's going to bring up the right fielder in Yataro Sugimoto to the plate. One thing I would say with regards to Dylan's comment earlier, he says about placing wagers on MLB games and keeping up with the Japanese rosters and games. One thing is that when you follow smaller leagues, there's only 12 teams in the NPB, but only 6 in each league. Generally, they play against each other. It becomes easier in which to follow, that's for sure. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, there's a fastball swung on. It's lifted foul down the right field line, and the count is 0-1. Whether it's watching the basketball league in Australia, the NBL, watching the Canadian Football League, when you're only having to follow 6, 8, 10, 12 teams, it's a lot easier to be able to manage and say, for example, a 30-team league like Major League Baseball. The other one is the KBO. There's a lot of people, we don't do anything with the KBO, or for that matter, the Chinese Professional League. But there are people who will follow that more frequently because of the fewer amount of teams. I think at the KBO there's 10, and I know there's only 6 in the Taiwanese league. As the pitcher steps off the mound and feigns a throw over to first base. That's just the way it goes when you have the smaller league. You can really pay your attention to that in those directions. Another thing is, too, is you're also looking at, as there's a fastball swung on, this ball is driven in deep into right field. On the warning track is the right fielder, Nakajima. He's going to haul it in and make the catch. Oh, Sugimoto went the other way with it. He just got underneath it a bit. But he's going to be retired for the second out of the inning. That's going to do it for him, and that'll bring up the first baseman in Yuma Tongu. He didn't miss that by much. It was on the warning track as that was hauled in. My friend Harrison said, what did he miss? Well, you fell asleep in the 5th inning and you missed a bunch of runs by the Buffaloes. One of the other things is when you watch some of the games and you see how the bullpens are managed, that's also very, very important. And you can start to get a feel for some of that. As the right-hander works himself into the set position. And now Watanabe delivers. It's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is popped up into shallow center field. Coming in underneath it is Tatsumi. He's there to make the catch, and that's going to do it as Tongu is going to be retired for the 3rd out of the inning, and that will do it here. They strand the leadoff single by Mune. No runs in the inning on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left aboard. We are now through 2/3 of the ball game. It is the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles trailing the Orix Buffaloes 6-3. The top of the 7th is just around the corner. We're going to be back with all the action in just a few. Thanks for hanging out with us on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. We got ourselves a 6-3 ball game for the Buffaloes. The Eagles are coming to bat, and we'll be right back after this.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Taisuke Yamaoka taking over here on the mound for the Orix Buffaloes. For those of you who aren't aware, Yamaoka was at the center of a gambling issue or a gambling problem in the NPB at the beginning of the year. He had cooperated, he left the team, cooperated with the Osaka police. For those of you who maybe aren't aware, gambling in the NPB, or at least gambling with regards to players that are there, you can't online gambling is illegal in Japan. Forget the sports betting, just online gambling. And there's been a number of players who have self-declared that they have been online gambling in Japan. There was a report that 4 Saitama Seibu Lions came forward about a week or so ago. As the first pitch breaking ball is going to catch the outside corner, and the count is 0-1 to Rui Muniyama. It's Muniyama, Oda, and Muribayashi to get things going here for the Eagles in their half of inning number 7. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, there's a fastball that misses upstairs for a ball, and the count's 1-1. But it was really a kind of a dark cloud hanging over the Buffaloes. And this particular player was the only one that was fingered and that was, I guess you would say, pointed out that he was involved in the gambling. Other players were not named, as there's a breaking ball swung on it, is lifted foul. Racing over was Mune. He slid, unable to make the catch, and that's going to run the count to 1-2 on Muniyama. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Harrison says he wants Anthony K back, though. There you go. Dylan Norris says he's a Yankee Braves fan. He lives in Georgia, and he's glad that Soto hit the road. Rodolfo Rosa in the house. Hello, Rodolfo. As there's a breaking ball swung on, another one lifted foul over on the third base side, but this time it's going to drift into the seats, and the count remains at 1-2 to Muniyama. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is, but we're talking about the gambling issue. And certainly with the players, there was a gambling scandal with the Yomiuri Giants. I believe it was 2017 or 2018. 3 pitchers from the Giants received lifetime suspensions from the game as they were long gone. And the pitch is a fastball that swung on and fouled away, and the count remains at 1-2. Harrison says, Dylan, I'm not talking to you. There you go. One Mets fan is not talking to the Yankees fan, so life is back to normal. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, there's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is looped into center field, but it's going to hang up enough for the center fielder Watanabe to haul it in. Watanabe is a defensive change for the Buffaloes. They've moved Nakagawa over into right field. So Muniyama is retired for the first out of the inning. That is going to bring up the catcher in Hikaru Oda. Or is it? Well, it looks like it's going to be a pinch hitter. And that pinch hitter is going to be number 7, and that's Daichi Suzuki. So Suzuki into pinch hit here. As the right-hander kicks and delivers. The first pitch to Suzuki taken on the inside corner for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So Hikaru Oda's day is done. And Daichi Suzuki on in to pinch hit here. Right-hander ready to go again. As the right-hander is swung on and fouls that one away, and the count goes to 0-2. Now, our friend Harrison is pumping his fist that Garrett Cole got hurt. I got to be honest with you. I never cheer for players to get injured. I always talk about cheering for the players. I never cheer against players. Never do anything like that. I don't want guys to get hurt. In fact, I'd rather face the best players possible that you can throw at me so that we can go and battle against them. Here's the 0-2 offering. Breaking ball swung on and missed, and Suzuki down on strikes. He's gone for the second out of the inning. Bring up the top of the order in Dice and Itsuki Muribayashi. And so for me in particular, I never cheered at somebody's demise. It'd be like the basketball player Halliburton, who tore his Achilles in the Game 7 of the NBA Finals. What an unfortunate turn of events that was for him. And he pitches a fastball taken on the outside corner for a called strike. Count is 0-1 to Muribayashi. So no balls and 1 strike. As the right-hander ready to deliver, he kicks and fires. There's a fastball that misses inside, and the count goes even to 1-1. Harrison wants to know if I'm a Padres fan. Nope. Detroit. So 1 ball and 1 strike. As the pitch is on the way, it's a breaking ball that just misses a little bit low, and the count goes to 2-1 on Murray Biashi. Dylan says he thinks that Indy might have had a chance to win that one. Yeah, possibly. Could have been definitely a game changer. There's another fastball that misses down. Count goes to 3-1. Dylan says he's from Kalamazoo. Was in Kalamazoo a number of years ago. A buddy of mine used to referee in the IHL, so I'd go with him sometimes and see games that the K-Wings would play as the 3-1 pitch is on the way. Fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats over on the first base side. And the count now is 3-2. Rodolfo says he was surprised that Charlie Blackmon decided to retire this year. He thought he had another year left in him. Unfortunately, he probably didn't have another year of losing in him. I can only imagine what those guys are enduring right now. 18 wins last time I looked in for the Rocks. As the pitch is on the way, it's a breaking ball that misses up and in. And that is going to be ball 4 as Yamaoka loses Murray Biashi. He's going to be aboard with a 2-out walk. That'll bring up Hiroto Kobakata to the plate. Rodolfo says, I live in Japan. No, I thought you live in Vancouver. Yeah, we don't live in Japan. We live on north of the 49th. We're still in the Vancouver area. Although we'll be in Taiwan a little bit later this year. Less than 2 months away. Got to figure out the rest of my journey. I got to get the rest of my hotels booked. It's coming quick. As the right-hander delivers, there's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away, and the count is no balls and 1 strike to Kobakata. And check that. We have a pinch hitter for Kobakata. As his night is done, they're going to go to it's going to be number 24. This is Fumiya Kurakawa. So interesting here. So Kurakawa into pinch hit for Kobakata. You throw over to first base and diving back in time is Murray Biashi. Dylan says VPN. Yeah, VPN's one way you can do it a little bit, but the other thing is that I can't comment really in the States so much. It used to be DAZN used to carry it, then they didn't. It used to be Friends to Friends. FTF used to have it. They don't. There was a couple of gambling houses. There's a breaking ball that's taken for a called strike. The count is now 0-2. There used to be a gambling house. I want to say like Betway or Bet365. You could actually become a member, and then they would stream the games within the gambling site. So you could watch as you gamble. But I can't remember. There was somebody who was in here was telling us about it before. I never actually took a look at that. Here comes the 0-2 pitch as the right-hander delivers. There's a breaking ball down, and the count goes to 1-2. Adolfo says, who's coming up? It's going to be the 6, 7, and 8 hitters for the Buffs coming up next inning. Dylan says, he said you were done. Yeah, you encourage Harrison. He sticks around for another 10 minutes. So here comes the 1-2 pitch as Yamaoka holds set. And the 1-2 on the way. It's a breaking ball that misses down and in, and the count now goes to 2-2 on Kurakawa. As soon as you started to fire up Harrison with the Mets and Trevor Bauer talk, you're starting to wake him up again. You got to let the sleeping bear lie sometimes in certain situations. So here's the 2-2 pitch as Yamaoka holds set. Pitch on the way. Breaking ball swung on, grounded softly over to second. Nishino fields it, throws to first. And that is going to retire Kurakawa on a ground out 4-3 to end the inning here in the top of the 7th. Well, there were no runs in the inning, no hits, no errors. There was a runner left aboard. Your score now as we move to the bottom half of inning number 7. It is a 6-3 Buffaloes lead. We'll be back in just a few after this version of Take Me Out to the Ball Game. We'll be right back after this.
Hello, this is Eric Fox, formerly of the Oakland A's and Texas Rangers baseball teams. If you want to learn about Japanese baseball, see Coach Fred of Last Raps Baseball. If you want baseball instruction, see Coach Fred. If you want to learn about golf, do not go to Coach Fred. Fred, what kind of club is this?
At Last Raps Baseball, we know baseball. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the bottom of the 7th inning, and the Buffaloes have themselves a 6-3 lead. And the pitching parade out of the Tohoku bullpen will continue as it's going to be number 66, Ryuta Kono is coming on in relief. The 30-year-old will be taking over here as he is going to be the 4th pitcher used by the Eagles in this one. There is a new catcher and new second baseman as well, as it looks like the night is done, obviously, for Oda as it is for Kobakata. We'll get you caught up at that as we go. It looks like it's Ishihara behind the plate. I'll have to wait to see exactly who that is when it comes up. First pitch fastball swung on by Tomoya Mori, lifted down the third base line. Over underneath it is the third baseman, Murray Biashi, and he's going to haul it in. And Mori is going to be gone on the first pitch that he sees. He's out for the first out of the inning. That'll bring up the shortstop in Kotaro Kobayashi. So with one pitch, the righty Ryuta Kono able to get the first out. So Kono ready to face Kobayashi, who is officially 0 for 2 today. Takes a fastball down for a ball. The count is 1-0. He has flown to right, grounded to short, and walked in his 3 trips. And there's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count now 2 balls and no strikes. Our friend Harrison says that he is talking about what can I agree on. As soon as we start getting into politics, I can't be making any comments on anything there. There's enough issues we have on our parts of the border. Breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count is 2-1. If I could figure out American politics, figure out our own politics, then we would also be able to have peace in the Middle East and everybody would be carrying roses. And that, unfortunately, is not the case. Breaking ball swung on and missed. The count now goes to 2-2 on Kobayashi. So I will let that sleeping dog lie where it is. We'll keep politics out of the stream there, Harrison. That could get you a timeout if you're not talking baseball. So here comes the 2-2 pitch. As the right-hander ready to go, and the pitch is a breaking ball swung on. It is lifted into right field. And the count remains at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. So 2 balls and 2 strikes it is, as the right-handed hitting Kobayashi waiting on the offering here from the right-hander Kono, and it's delivered. Breaking ball swung on it is going to be looped into center field. It's going to hang up enough for Tatsumi to move to his left and make the grab. And Kobayashi gone here for the second out of the inning. So 2 gone. It's going to leave it up to the catcher, Kenya Wakatsuki. I'll have to wait to see if Wakatsuki is going to be coming to bat here. He got hit by a pitch his last time up. Ended up driving in a run. He's officially 0 for 2. It is Wakatsuki who stays in the game. He does have an RBI tonight. He's got 15 now on the year. There's a fastball that misses up, and the count is 1-0. One would have to think it is probably going to be, maybe, if I'm guessing ahead, Perdomo and Machado to finish this thing out. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. The 1-0 on the way. It's a fastball swung on and missed. The count now goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Right-handed hitting Wakatsuki waiting here on the offering from the right-hander Kono, who delivers. Fastball swung on, grounded to short. Oh, that was not a pretty play. The rookie Muniyama trying to backhand it, and they ended up playing soccer with it as he kicked it around. And that is going to be an E6 charge to him. And safe at first is Wakatsuki. We'll look at the backhand again. He got down to the ground. The ball ended up hitting off his glove. He's got to be able to get through that ball and take the play on the short hop. Truthfully, he let the ball play him. He didn't play the ball. The rookie mistake, one would have to say, as that should have been the third out of the inning. It'll bring up the second baseman in Masahiro Nishino. And Nishino has been a thorn in the side of the Tohoku Ball Club tonight. He's 2 for 2. He's also walked and driven in a run. As the pitch on the way is a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. With the 2 hits tonight in the ball game, Nishino has raised his season average to 229. Doesn't have a ton of at-bats, but the sample size with a couple of hits that certainly fluffed his average up. There's a fastball swung on and hammered foul down the right field line. Now he's in the hole at 0-2. We were talking before about how Nishino had a really strong campaign last year, hit over 300. Dylan said it went off his foot. No, he clanked it. It went off it took a different hop, and it ended up hitting the heel of the glove. But certainly, I didn't like the way that he fielded it on the backhand. He just kind of let and wait the ball came to him rather than him pushing through it and attacking through it. As there is a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count remains at 0-2 to Nishino. Fred Harrison has had one too many wobbly pops, and those might be the Shirley Temples tonight. Here's the 0-2 pitch. As it's on its way, it's a breaking ball swung on, grounded over to the left side, fielded by the third baseman, Murray Biashi, as he drops to a knee, and he throws to second to retire Wakatsuki. It's a fielder's choice, 5-4 to end the inning, and that is going to do it here for the Buffaloes in their half of the seventh. They had no runs in the inning. There were no hits. There was an error, and there was one runner left aboard. We're now through 7 complete, and we are getting into the top of the 8th inning. It is the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles trailing the Orix Buffaloes 6-3. And we'll be right back in just a few right after this one on this timeout. It is the last Raps Baseball YouTube channel when we return after this.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. It looks like that the Orix Buffaloes have surpassed the 1 million fans in attendance so far, and they've done it pretty quickly this year, as it is just over the midway or around the midway point of the season. So congratulations to the Buffaloes and their fan base as they've crossed the 1 million mark, and one would have to think there'll be more to follow. It is going to be Luis Perdomo coming on in relief here to pitch in the 8th inning, making his 25th appearance of the year. He has posted a 2.19 ERA, so Perdomo on in relief as the first pitch breaking ball delivered to Asamura swung on and popped up into straightaway center field. Underneath it is Watanabe, and he's there to make the catch. And with one pitch, we have one away here in the 8th inning. That'll bring up the left fielder in Oscar Gonzalez. Looks like that Nishino's day is done at second base. It is going to be Oshiro, the new second baseman, Koji Oshiro. As far as I could see, it is going to be a straight-up switch there. So Koji Oshiro on at second base. Here's the first pitch delivered to Gonzalez, and it misses down. And the count is quickly a 1-0. At this point in time, we are getting into the deep water here for the Eagles, as the Buffaloes pitchers are pretty much lights out at the back end. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. Count is 1-1 to Gonzalez, because we would expect Machado to come out for the 9th. There's a split finger pitch swung on and missed. Count now goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is. The 5th pitcher used tonight, as Perdomo is on in relief here. Fastball swung on, lined into right center field. This ball can be trouble. It's going to get down, and it's going to go all the way to the wall. Gonzalez rounding first, and he's cruising into second with a stand-up double. A 1-out double for Gonzalez, and that is going to bring up the designated hitter in Yukiya Ito. I have to say, Gonzalez, got to tip your hat to the fella here. He can get off to a hot start and sustain that. That is going to be pretty good for the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. Yeah, last traps. I think our friend Harrison is a little bit left. There we go. First pitch, breaking ball, take it for a called strike. The count is 0-1 to Ito. Ito tonight is 1 for 2. He's doubled in 2 trips. He's also drawn a walk. And there's a breaking ball that's taken for a called strike. Ito had checked his swing, but the pitch was called a strike by the home plate umpire, and the count now goes to 0-2. Interesting, now he's decided to open up his strike zone, has the plate umpire. Perdomo working to the set. Here's the 0-2. Breaking ball, waved out and missed. It's down in the dirt. Wakatsuki picks it up. He throws to first. That is going to retire Ito. It's going to go a strikeout, 2-3 for the putout. He's gone for the second out. Holding at second is Gonzalez, and it's going to bring the right fielder Daisuke Nakajima to the plate. Well, for Nakajima, he is 1 for 3. He's got a single in 3 trips. as Perdomo leans in, getting the sign from the catcher Wakatsuki. Looking ahead to the bottom half of inning number 8, it'll be the top of the order to come to bat for the Buffaloes. First pitch breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. The ball's and 1 strike. Perdomo kicks and delivers. It's a fastball down. A good stop there by Wakatsuki and to go down to block that one. Count is 1 ball and 1 strike. Just taking a peek at that out-of-town scoreboard yet again. 5-0 in the bottom of the 8th inning between the Bay Stars and the Giants. Giants have the lead in that one. Breaking ball swung on, tap foul over on the first base side. Count goes to 1-2. Bottom of the 9th inning at the Jingu, it's 2-0 for the Tigers over the Swallows. And in the bottom of the 8th inning, the Carp still leading the Dragons 2-1 in that one. Other games in the Pacific League are all later starts. They go off at an hour's time. Pitch swung on, chopped right back to the pitcher Perdomo. They're going to have to hurry, and they're able to get Nakajima. That's going to go down as a ground out 1-3, and that is going to do it here for the Eagles in their half of the 8th inning. No runs in the inning. There was the hit, the double by Gonzalez. There was no errors, and 1 runner left aboard. We are now moving to the bottom of the 8th inning. The Buffaloes coming to bat. It'll be Nishikawa, Mune, and Nakagawa when we return after this. Appreciate everybody for hanging in here with us tonight, listening on the Last Rouse Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be back after this.
Hello? Oh, hey. Yep. I'm just sitting here listening to Freddie call another game here on YouTube. Oh, yeah, going really good. He's calling a great game. Really exciting. Lots of stuff going on. You're lucky it's commercial break right now. I got a second. Oh, yeah, of course I'm having a cold one. Oh, yeah, got plenty of videos coming up this week. You should stop in. Check them out. Leave a like, tell other people. But, Freddie's coming back. I got to go catch the game. I will check in with you later. You have a good night, buddy. Bye.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the top of the order slated to come to bat. It would be Nishikawa, Mune, and Nakagawa, the 1, 2, and 3 hitters, as the Buffaloes will be batting here in their half of the inning. We're just waiting on a confirmation to see if the pitching parade for the Eagles will continue, and without a doubt it will, as they have gone to the bullpen and they are bringing on a right-hander. This is going to be a number 46, Shoma Fujihira, as he will take over in relief here. The 5th pitcher used by the Golden Eagles in this one. So Nishikawa coming to bat here, who is a 1-for-4 tonight. And the first pitch on the way is a fastball swung on. It is grounded through the first baseman into right field, and it's going to get into the right field corner. Rounding first and heading to second is Nishikawa. We're going to have to wait and see how they're going to score this. If Asamura is going to be charged with an error or if that is going to be a hit. Let's see what they do. They give us the scoreboard, but nothing has been confirmed as of yet. We'll get a look at this one here. The ball was an absolute bullet, blistered. As far as I'm concerned, if I was the home team, I might give them the double. If it is the road team here, if I was the road team, it's probably not. Nishikawa gets high fives. He's coming out of the ball game. We haven't got a confirmation. It is going to be the pinch runner coming into the game. That is going to be number 27. That's Kenda again. So he will come in to run for Nishikawa. The first pitch to Yuma Mune instead is a inside move that feigns the runner back. So we haven't got an update yet on whether that was an error or a hit yet. We'll have to wait and see on that one. There's already one error in the books for the Golden Eagles, and that was made by the shortstop, Muniyama. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count goes to 1-0 on Mune. So 1 ball and no strikes. Sometimes they flash on the scoreboard, but there was no decision rendered at that point in time. All the colors were lighting up yellow. So 1 ball and no strikes as the right-hander holds set. Now he delivers. Fastball catches the inside corner, and the count runs to 1-1 on Mune. Mune has enjoyed a nice ball game tonight. He is 2 for 3. He has scored a pair of runs. As he is batting here from on the left side against the right-handed throwing Fujihira. As the right-hander holds set, now he delivers. It's a breaking ball that misses down and in. The count now goes to 2-1 on Mune. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Bottom of the 8th inning, Buffaloes enjoying a 6-3 lead over the Eagles. This game here, but most of the scoring in fact, all the scoring came in the first 5 innings. It's been pretty quiet since the 5th. As the pitch is on the way, it's a breaking ball swung on and lifted foul. It's going to reach the seats down the left field line, and the count now goes to 2-2. Still waiting on that update. I want to take a quick peek. Possibly they have rendered a decision on that. They gave it a double to Nishikawa. So that'll help him in the home stats. He ends his night 2 for 5. As Gen had come in to replace him, and there's a fastball that misses up and away. The count now runs full to Mune. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Once this game is done, we'll give you the full roundup of it, as well as all the out-of-town scores, as those games are starting to wrap up over in the Central League as well. As the 3-2 pitch ready to come here. Right-hander holds set, checks the runner. Now he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on his lifted foul into the seats down the left field line, and the count remains at 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Crowd for the Buffaloes are in full form. As the right-hander works himself into the set position. And here comes the 3-2 offering. It's on its way. It's a fastball swung on and fouled right off of the foot of Mune, right at home plate. And the count remains at 3 balls and 2 strikes. So 3 balls and 2 strikes it is. Mune moving around gingerly. Earlier in the season, he was wearing not just a shin guard coming up his shin. He had like a full knee guard on all the way up. It looked like a catcher's shin guard all the way above his knee. As the right-hander works himself to the belt, now delivers fastball swung on, driven into deep center field. Racing back on its Tatsumi. He's going to make it over the shoulder catch. Tagging at second is Gen. He had the infield playing in shallow, and he got on his horse to Tatsumi. He makes a pretty good over-the-shoulder catch. Retiring Mune for the first out of the inning. So he's gone for out number 1, and that is going to bring up the center fielder, now the right fielder in Kai Nakagawa. Nakagawa began the ball game in center field. He moved over to right as Watanabe had come in to replace Yataro Sugimoto. He's 1 for 2 tonight. He's got a double and an RBI. He's also struck out and walked a pair of times. As the right-hander works himself to the belt. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on, grounded through the 4-hole into right field. Rounding third and throwing on the brakes is Gen, as that is going to be the second hit of the night for Nakagawa. He's got himself a single. Buffaloes have runners on the corners with one gone. And that is going to bring up the center fielder in Watanabe. As we're going through the list of players, I don't see Watanabe listed at all anywhere on our piece here, although I have to say he is nowhere listed. Number 0 it is. And he is nowhere to be found on our sheets. Oh, there he is, Haruto Watanabe. 1 for 2 on the season, batting an even .500. It's only his third at bat. He has made a number of appearances defensively. So he is up to bat here. I wouldn't bat an eye that they maybe want to square him around a bunt. We'll have to keep our eye on the third baseman here. Maybe a little safety squeeze. Watanabe does run extremely well. He's batting from the left side with an open stance as he's waiting on the first delivery here from Fujihira. The first pitch is swung on and missed, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike, and you can see why he doesn't get an opportunity to swing the bat very much. It was a split finger pitch. He was way out in front and fooled. So no balls and 1 strike. Right-hander Fujihira ready to go again as he holds himself to the belt. Now delivers. There's a fastball that misses up and away, and the count goes to 1-1 on Watanabe. If you just joined us, all the scoring came in the first 5 innings of the game. 2 in the first by the Buffaloes. They got 1 in the third and 3 in the fifth. Eagles scored their runs, 1 in the second, 1 in the third, 1 in the fourth. Pitch on the way, fastball taken at the knees for a called strike. The count goes to 1-2 on Watanabe. Buffaloes are threatening here in the 8th inning. They've got runners at the corners with 1 gone. Yumatangu is waiting his turn on deck. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. And now the Eagles catcher has come out in front of the plate, flashing the signs for his first and third defense. They may have something up their sleeves. Nakagawa can run a little bit. He's got 6 stolen bases on the year. As the left-handed hitting, Watanabe readies himself back in at the plate again. And the right-hander ready to go as he gets his side from his catcher. He works himself to the belt. And here comes the 1-2 pitch. It's on the way. It's a fastball down. But the home plate umpire said he did go, and he goes up with the right hand. It is a strikeout there as Watanabe is going to be retired for the second out of the inning. So he's in the books. Home plate umpire didn't waste any time. And the fact also, too, that Watanabe left the bat out in front made it a pretty easy call for the home plate umpire. That's 2 in the books. It's going to bring up the first baseman in Yumatangu. Dylan pumping a fist for the strikeout there, that's for sure. So runners on the corners with 2 gone, and Tangu striding to the plate. The captain of the Buffaloes has struggled tonight. 0 for 4 on the evening. He's seen his season average slip to 262. He's popped to second, popped to first, grounded to second, and flown out to center in his 4 trips. Batting from the right side here against the reliever Fujihira. As he works himself to the set, pitch on the way. Fastball swung on, lined over the head of the second baseman into right field. That's going to get 1 run in. Rounding second and heading to third is Nakagawa. And it is now a 7-3 lead here for the Buffaloes. An RBI single off the bat of Tongu, as he has driven in his 30th run of the year. As Kendai Gen in to score. 7-3, the Buffaloes now have the lead. Good piece of hitting there by Tongu. Pitch was down and away. Stayed inside the ball going the other way. Didn't have to do too much. Just was able to shorten up and get it into play. So Tongu aboard. It's going to bring Tomoya Mori to the plate. Mori 1 for 3 in this one. He's got a double in 3 trips. He's walked and scored a run. He's also driven in a run. So what are the odds of him swinging at first pitch? Usually pretty good. He's a very aggressive hitter. And the first pitch on the way, he takes a breaking ball over for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Mori is one of those type of hitters who likes to jump out of his socks on the first pitch, especially if it's a fastball. So no balls and 1 strike. As the right-hander Fujihira delivers, it's a split finger pitch. It's waved at and missed. Now Mori is in the hole at 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Tough night at the office for the Golden Eagles. They're staring at the headlights of a second consecutive loss to the Buffaloes. A win here by the Buffaloes tonight will bring them to within 2 games of the Fighters. There's a split finger pitch down in the dirt. Count goes to 1-2. We're just kind of speculating a little bit. The Fighters and the Lions go a little later tonight, and it could make it a little bit more interesting if the Lions can get a victory. And certainly if the Hawks can take care of the Marines, it will just tighten up the top 4 spots in the Pacific League. With the Tigers leading last time we looked in, they'll hold on to that lead in the Central League. Breaking ball misses outside, and the count goes to 2-2. One thing that's interesting that I always think the Tigers better have a healthy lead. When it gets to the month of August, they leave their home at the Cochin Stadium because they go and play at the Kyocera Dome as their home games, but they also will travel on the road. They have a rather long road trip away from the Cochin Stadium. The high school Cochin will take place. There's a fastball swung on it, is lifted foul down in the left field line. Count remains at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Summer Cochin will take over, which is the high school tournament, will take over the Cochin Stadium. Problem is that he takes away your home field advantage. Here's the 2-2. Fastball misses down and in. It's now 3-2 to Mori. Well, Tongu will be on the run here as soon as the pitch is delivered to the plate. 3 balls and 2 strikes. 2 gone here in the 8th inning. As the right-hander getting his signs from his catcher as he works himself to the belt. Now he delivers. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into straightaway center field. Tatsumi camping out underneath it. He's there to make the catch, and that is going to retire Mori for the 3rd out of the inning, and that will do it here for the Buffaloes. But they add another run to their lead. 1 run in the inning on the benefit of 3 hits. There was no errors, and there was 2 runners left aboard. We're moving now to the top of the 9th inning. Looks like another pitching change, and you got to think it's going to be Machado coming in for the 9th inning. We'll be right back after this. Hang tight, everybody. Here's our buddy Matt.
Well, you got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just 1 roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
Welcome back, everybody. Machado has completed his tune-up tosses, and he's ready to face the bottom third of the batting order. Slated to come to bat will be Tatsumi, Muniyama, and Ishihara to face the right-hander here. Tatsumi stepping to the plate. He is officially 0 for 3 tonight. He has bounced into a fielder's choice. He has grounded to the pitcher and grounded to first. He does have an RBI. As the first pitch on the way is a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is quickly 0-1. Eagles and Buffaloes here at the Kyocera Dome. We are in the top of the ninth inning. Buffaloes enjoying a 7-3 lead. As this game here is in its final stages, it's been all Buffaloes all night tonight. As the right-hander delivers, it's a fastball swung on. This ball is belted into deep center field. Racing back on the warning track, leaping. Did he make the grab as Watanabe, or did he take it off the wall? Oh, it looks like he made a heck of a grab. Oh, man. Tatsumi's going to feel snake bitten. Machado is going to tip his hat. And the crowd is giving a round of applause to the center fielder who got on his horse, made a leaping grab at the wall to bring that one down for the first out of the inning. We'll get a look at it on the replay here. Ball was absolutely smoked to straightaway center. And it was a great play there by the center fielder Watanabe to haul that in to rob his counterpart Tatsumi for the first out of the inning. So one gone here, and that is going to bring up the shortstop in Rui Muniyama. Well, for Muniyama, he's had a tough night tonight. He is 0 for 3 at the plate. And he has also made an error in the field. We're going to take another look at this. I think maybe they're looking to see if he actually did catch it and not trap it. We're getting a look here. Now, that's a clean catch. Umpires that come back out pretty easy. They go up with the right hand. That is another one charged to the Eagles. I think that's their second one that they've used. Not that it really matters anyway. They wanted another look at that. But a round of applause there for the center fielder of the Buffaloes. That'll make the Instagram highlights of the night if you're on the Pacific League channel. Maybe even the Buffaloes will run that out as well. So that is going to bring Muniyama to the plate. 0 for 3, as we said. One error defensively. It's not been his night. And the first pitch coming from the right-hander is a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Muniyama's average dipped to 247 as he bats from the left side against the right-handed throwing Machado, who kicks and fires a fastball that swung on. It's lifted into left field, drifting over to his right with plenty of room to make the catches again. And that is going to retire Muniyama. So 2 up and 2 away. It's going to leave it all up to the catcher in Tsuyoshi Ishihara. And for Ishihara, this is his first at-bat of the evening, as Daichi Suzuki had come off the bench to hit for Suzuki, but it looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter for Ishihara. That's exactly what it is. It's going to be number 48 for Tohoku, and this is going to be their version of Watanabe. It's Yoshiaki Watanabe. So Watanabe on here. And he takes a first pitch fastball for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So Ishihara doesn't even get a chance to swing the bat. It is Yoshiaki Watanabe here hitting in his place. So no balls and 1 strike. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, there's a fastball swung on and fouled away straight back, and the count is 0-2 to Watanabe. Taro Sugimoto sporting the blonde-haired look. A lot of blonde highlights in the Japanese players on the Buffalo side of things. I guess that must be trending these days in Japan. So no balls and 2 strikes as the right-hander works himself to the set position. Machado kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses down. That one was at 97 on the gun. So 1 ball and 2 strikes here to Watanabe. 7-3, Buffaloes have the lead. We are in the top of the 9th inning. Eagles are down to their final strike as Machado works himself to the set position. Here's the 1-2. Another split finger pitch that misses down, and the count goes to 2-2 to Watanabe. Remember, we'll give you a full roundup of this one here once this game is over. Give you all the report, all the rundown on this one, and all the scores from out of town. As the games in the Central League are coming to an end. At least 2 of the 3 are done. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Fastball, another one that misses down, and the count now runs full, 3-2 to Watanabe. I don't know much, but I do know this. If I'm Machado, I'm just going to go play good old-fashioned hardball with Watanabe. Challenge him with your best. See what he can do. Don't waste your time throwing all these pitches down in the dirt with your split finger. Just power versus power. Here comes the 3-2 offering as the right-hander holds to the set. Now delivers. Fastball misses down. It's going to be ball 4, and the Eagles still have life. As Watanabe is going to be aboard with a 2-out walk. That's going to bring up the top of the order in Itsuki Maribayashi. Well, Maribayashi coming to the plate. He is officially 1 for 2 tonight. He's got a single and 2 trips. He's also walked and had a sac fly. He has driven in a run. Batting from the right side here against a right-handed throwing Machado. Machado already delivered 10 pitches. The first one is a center cut fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. So no balls in 1 strike. Ball game in the waning moments here as we are in the top half of inning number 9. No balls in 1 strike to Maribayashi. Runner at first is Watanabe. Pitch on the way. That is a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count now goes to 0-2. So once again, Eagles find themselves down to their final strike. Buffaloes looking to capture the win in the series here with a victory tonight. As the right-hander Machado kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on. Taps softly back to the pitcher. Machado fields it, throws to first. And that is going to do it here as it's a ground out 1-3 to end the ball game. As Maribayashi has gone for out number 3. There were no runs in the inning. There was no hits, no errors. There was a runner left aboard. Your final score from the Kyocera Dome in Osaka, it is the Buffaloes 7 and the Eagles 3. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments to wrap this one up for you and to give you all the roundups from around the NPB tonight. Right back after this.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
Welcome back, everybody. We're going to wrap this one up for you here tonight. We'll give you the scoring roundup, then the out-of-town scores, and then we'll put this one to bed. The Orix Buffaloes got things going in the bottom half of the first inning. It was a leadoff double by Ryoma Nishikawa. A single by Yuma Mune and a walk to Kai Nakagawa brought Yatara Sugimoto to the plate, and he delivered a 2-run double to give the Buffaloes an early 2-0 lead. While the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles responded in their half of the second with a run, Oscar Gonzalez singled after a walk to Yukiya Ito, and then a fielder's choice off the bat of Daisuke Nakajima. Up stepped Ryosuke Tetsumi, and he bounced into a fielder's choice that brought home the first run for Tohoku that cut the lead to 2-1. In the third inning, the Eagles tied the ball game. A leadoff triple off the bat of the catcher Hikaru Oda. And then it was Murray Biashi who stepped up and sacrificed him home, and that evened the score at 2-2. But the Buffaloes immediately responded in their half of the third. A leadoff walk to Nakagawa after a flyout by Sugimoto and a pop-out by Tongu. Tomoya Mori stepped up and doubled home Nakagawa with a drive into the left center field gap, and that made the scoreline 3-2. But Tohoku responded again in their half of the fourth inning. With one out, Yukiya Ito doubled. A single off the bat of Daisuke Nakajima brought home the runner Ito, and that made the scoreline 3-3. The Buffaloes then blew this game a little bit open in the fifth inning. They sent 9 hitters to the plate, and it was a bit of a walkathon. They only had 1 hit in the inning. Yuma Mune walked, and then up stepped Kai Nakagawa. He doubled home Mune with the first run of the inning. After Sugimoto struck out and Tongu grounded out, Tomoya Mori walked. Kentaro Kobayashi walked. Then Kenya Wakatsuki was hit by a pitch with the bases loaded. That brought home the second run of the inning in Nakagawa. And then it was Masahiro Nishino drawing a walk to bring home Mori, and that made the scoreline 6-3. Buffaloes added 1 more in the eighth, a leadoff double off the bat of Nishikawa. After he was run for by Gen, with 1 away, it was Nakagawa stepping up. He had a single that put runners to the corners. Then after Watanabe struck out, an RBI single off the bat of Yuma Tongu extended the scoreline to 7-3. That is your final score, and that's how it wrapped up here. And when we look at the out-of-town scoreboard, the other games, there are a couple of finals in. One final in at the Tokyo Dome, 5-0. The Giants beat the Bay Stars. 2-0, another shutout. That was the Tigers knocking off the Swallows. And right now, the bottom of the ninth inning, we're going to take a look to see if that game is still in progress or if it has come to an end. And it looks like that game may be finished over there. We're going to have to take a look. It looked like they tried to steal home with runners at first and third in the ninth inning, and it failed. So that looks like that game could be over between the Dragons and the Giants. 2-1, we had it for the Carp. I don't know if there's a review or not, but it looks like that game there is pretty much all but in the books. The other 2 games go off in less than an hour's time. Actually, in about 27 minutes, it'll be the Fighters at the Lions at the Balluna Dome, and the Hawks take on the Marines at the Zozo Marine Stadium. Those games get going in just a little bit. Once again, everybody, we do thank you for listening in to the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. We hope you guys had a great night, and come on back and see us again tomorrow. It will be the Fighters and the Lions from the Balluna Dome, and hopefully you guys can make it in here with us. Have a great night, everybody. We'll catch you again soon.